Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
And their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome into Up Tempo. It is Super Tuesday. How about it? I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims. Cole's in here with us. I think the last time Cole was here, there were like 15 people in studio. We had an entire live studio audience, but this time it is Cole and Cole only.
It's like buds. It's like 150 people show up and just Cole is left with the brown shirt. Cole did not ring the bell, baby. Survival of the fittest. Natural selection. Cole.
Cole's staying.
Welcome to the show.
Cole said, I'm not leaving.
Cole said, I'm not freaking leaving.
Cole's staying.
Looks good,
The rest of them, they left. But no. Also today, in what is probably the biggest breaking news, I'm shaving the stash.
No.
I don't know if you can see it, Armstrong, from that little camera angle we have right there. But yeah, I'm shaving the stash.
We need an up-tempo. Up-tempo. Keep it or shave it.
Oh, wow. We need an up-tempo.
If the people kept it,
up-tempo or up-tempo?
Up in their temples.
You can't.
That's a temple. A face is a temple.
Your body's a temple.
Your body is a temple. Your face is a temple.
We went to Baylor. Your body's a temple.
I really, if the people said Drake, 85% of the vote says Drake, keep that stash. Do you keep it?
If 85% of the people out there that are watching say, Drake, keep your stash and your full-grown beard, grow it out more, I will keep it. I will keep it. If that's an up-tempo, I'll retweet it too.
I think it looks good.
I get a haircut today, too. That's what it is.
I'm
going to come in tomorrow and be a completely different person. I'm revolutionizing my look.
I think you look good. I could see, because you kind of did the Peaky Blinders. Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
I have now.
I keep referencing it, but yeah, sorry. So, like the short on the side, I think that looks good. I really think that with the beard would look exquisite.
With the beard.
I think it's reached beard status.
It's getting close.
It's very close.
It is. Oh, of course, Armstrong's off on
Armstrong
that
is our resident facial hair, I guess, expert. Is that fair to say? He's our expert.
How about, did you see yesterday, Matt Campbell signs a contract extension at Iowa State through 2028. Was that a surprise to you?
That's a long time. See, I don't even know what to make of these extensions anymore, because all these extensions for like 10 years or however long, like, what do they really mean? It just means like a more expensive buyout, right? Because Rule had what? Rule had like was it 6 years? Rule had a pretty lengthy extension too, and then he just dipped for Carolina pretty quick. So like, I don't know what to make of it. I don't see him leaving for another college program. That's all that means to me is he's not leaving for anywhere besides Iowa State.
He's not leaving.
Not leaving.
He's not freaking leaving.
Until the pros call.
Okay, but Rule signed with Carolina in what, early January?
Yeah, right after the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it was not. I didn't even think
Peace.
I was back to Waco yet. I'm pretty sure I was still in Little Rock when Matt Rule signed with the Panthers.
It was literally months, maybe even weeks after he had signed the extension, told all the players, hey, guys, I want to be here long term. And I believe he probably meant that at the time, but it's just tough when those NFL programs come calling. You know, that's probably every coach's dream as an ultimate competitor. You want to coach at the highest level, and so I don't blame him. But all that's to say, Matt Campbell, if he's in college, stay with Iowa State until the big dogs come from the NFL.
And then Matt Rule said, I'm leaving.
Said, I'm out.
I'm freaking leaving.
Said, forget those kids.
Out he was. Last night in women's college basketball, UConn, number 2 in the country, at home, knocked off number 1 South Carolina. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
What? Do you even watch sports anymore?
Sometimes.
It's a
Not
sports
really.
show.
I watch equestrian, but besides that,
I don't really watch sports.
What was the final score of the
Super Bowl,
equestrian meet on Saturday?
10-9.
Oh, that was really,
Baylor got it
really
done.
good.
Yeah, I was there.
Did you know
Just kidding,
that apparently, so I always thought that it was like 9 is what you needed to win an equestrian meet, is you just needed 9 team points. There are 20 team points available. It's whoever gets the most. And the reason sometimes it's like 9-9 or 10-9, you can tie points.
See, they should make you win by 2. It should be a win by 2. Make it take
That would go forever. Did the horses have enough horsepower? Is there enough stamina for the horses to go?
That's part of the game. It's part of the game, right?
Other than that, men's basketball, Kansas, Oklahoma State. I'm going to ask you this anyway, even though I know the answer. Did you watch that?
I was shocked by that. I was
Did you
absolutely
watch it?
blown away. Yeah, I saw that.
You
saw
did?
that. So Oklahoma State, yeah.
Up top.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tempot.
Nope.
Yeah,
That was bad.
It still
That was
works.
bad.
Man. Up tempot.
Tempot.
Like up top.
But yeah.
Up tempop.
No.
Kansas 78-66, UConn 63-59 in overtime. Question of the day today: what music outlet do you use?
Ooh, I'm Apple Music.
Oh,
Cold take.
that is
I like Apple
gross.
Music. I like Apple Music. Cold
That
take,
is
but I like it.
so bad.
I like
That's
Apple Music.
terrible.
Why? Just because it's on your phone?
It was just like sort of, I never got into the Spotify game, and so I've just sort of stick with Old Faithful. I know it's going to be a cold take. There is like a
cold take on your lunch break.
Cold take on your lunch break. Cold turkey, cold take, cold cuts. Dude, Apple Music is just what I go with, and I have no desire to leave. Like, people sell Spotify to me pretty hard, and I'm like, I don't see the downside of Spotify, but I'm just not going to make the move to Apple Music. There's nothing that appealing to Spotify for me to jump ship for Apple Music. You know what I mean?
That's just because you haven't used Spotify.
I have used Spotify, actually.
Do you like to?
I got it for, I made a playlist for my girlfriend for a 1 year, and I had Spotify, and I was like, this is basically the same thing as Apple Music.
Premium?
Are you more of a, like, your music tastes are set, or you like to explore? Because I found that people who are music tastes are set, and you already know what you're going to listen to, Apple Music is great. But if you like to explore things, then Spotify is better for that.
I'm an explorer. I'm an exploratory guy.
Internet.
But I wouldn't say I necessarily find any new music on Apple Music. Like, I will go and find stuff on Twitter. I'll hear honestly highlight tapes. I'll hear stuff on highlight tapes and be like, "That's pretty good. What's that?"
Wow.
And find it, or like social media.
Remember we did the what was that? Fur Elise, but remixed.
What was it called?
Fur Elise.
Fur Elise.
Fur Elise. Fur. Yeah.
Fur Elise.
I don't know,
Remember?
there's two little dots
I showed
over
you
the
that.
U.
Do you not remember? I showed you the
not
music.
remembering.
I showed you the song, and it.
Oh yes.
And then
Okay,
just
I
goes
didn't remember.
hard.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot what it was called.
Outside of that today, mascot madness. We have the Red Raider and the Sooner.
Hardly know her.
Raider.
I hardly even know
God
her.
bless America. It is the best matchup of this
Matchup
freaking
of the
bracket.
century.
And today, we have Keep It, Shave It. I'm voting Keep It.
I'm going to keep it too.
Outside of that, there's a Cyclone and a Wildcat squaring off today. That should go how I expect it to
Currently,
go.
we have 2 votes for Shave It.
We have 2
None
votes
for Keep It.
Really? I want to go vote for keep it.
But they can't even see it. It's not even definitive. It's not even defined. Oh, they can?
I posted a picture for reference.
Oh, did you?
no.
I did.
Men's tennis
We're about to go viral.
is really, really good. We talked about that. Softball starts this week. John Capron joins us at 12:05. He's the head coach of the Baylor cross-country team.
Let's do it.
12:30, Grayson Gruntaver talking recruiting. And 1:15, we have sorority girls again.
Hey, there you go.
Woo!
What house
Sorority
is it?
girls.
Is it
We
house?
have,
Y'all call it house?
we have Theta squaring off against AKO today. We have 2 of them coming in to
Interesting.
square off in studio. We got a caller on the line, 2 callers on the line, Matt in D.C. and Steven from Virginia. Steven, what's going on, my man? What's up?
Hey guys, I want to say a few things to y'all as friends first, because y'all are both my friends. Drake, I want to look out for you on a personal level. I can't see the mustache, and that's why you need to shave.
Yeah.
So I want to be your boy. Anybody who's your friend should tell you that. I'm starting to wonder if JD has good intentions for you in his heart.
Hey, I definitely do.
You haven't seen it in person, Steven.
Bro,
it's
don't
pretty
make the
immaculate.
sound like that.
It's pretty immaculate in person.
I gotta say, I can't see it. So you need to let it go until it can come back in full bloom.
It is now 50-50.
As someone who's a little older than you. Second, Armstrong, your Hans Zimmer take is really bad, and that's because you and Drake have not seen Rush. And I keep begging you to watch it.
I'll watch it.
Manchester.
Please. It's a Ron Howard movie. It has Chris Hemsworth. It's a good movie, man. Third, JD, I also use Apple Music. I've had iTunes for so long. It's nothing you could. Spotify can't be that much better.
I'm with you.
I mean, I've already spent all this money. I'm kind of stuck here. And then I wanted to say one thing about the halftime performance before we got to Bear games that I didn't yesterday. I'm a Weekend fan, but the reason I didn't like the show is because I thought to myself when I saw all those dancers with the masks on, I thought to myself, these dancers have gotten to the height of their profession. This is the highlight of their life, right? Sure. They're getting to dance on the Super Bowl with the Weeknd.
Yeah.
And then they find out, oh, yeah, you're going to be wearing the exact same thing as everyone else and something that covers your face.
That's a good point.
I'd be really mad because think of how many of those people are getting calls like, I saw you on TV. I'd be like, no, you didn't. Which one was I?
That's a good point.
So that's kind of where I looked at that. But I like his music and I liked it. So I'm ready for some Bear games.
Cheers, Stephen from Virginia. He already said he's an Apple Music guy, so that is written down. Question number 2. You can go with a Wildcat or a Cyclone in a battle to the death?
Now, this is going to be a really, really hot take. I'm coming from the bushes with this one, okay? There are many Wildcats and Bears across Tornado Alley. There have been tornadoes across the Midwest forever, and Wildcats and Bears still live there. If tornadoes were really that destructive, Wildcats and Bears would not live in the areas where tornadoes frequent.
I don't know if that's...
So in an upset special, we are going with the Wildcats who thrive and survive.
I think that's very flawed logic. They are in a cage together.
I like the effort. I don't know if I agree with the logic. I feel like if Wildcat were to find itself caught up with the Cyclone, it'd be bad news. Like Wildcats probably run from Cyclones, right? Like Wildcats probably don't square up with the Cyclone that frequently. They probably avoid the Cyclone.
One can only think.
I would hope.
One can only hope. Steven, what about a Red Raider and a Sooner? Gotta think it's a Red Raider. Just sounds
I got to take the Red Raiders because I assume both of these are glorified cowboys with guns. And I think of a Red Raider as more of a hitman type than a Sooner. And I've seen, plenty of those Sooner schooners with their guns, and I've seen them tip those things over.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a Red Raider fall off his horse. So I got to go with the Red Raider.
Did you know that they're not real guns that they use at Oklahoma? Yeah.
Oh,
with
really?
the schooners? Yeah, they're just fake. There's fake bullets and things.
What losers.
I know. Thanks for calling, Steven from Virginia.
What?
Yep.
They don't shoot actual guns out from the middle of the football field?
It's just caps.
I can't believe it.
It's just caps.
You've changed my life. I thought they were
really
firing real bullets at the fans.
Do we want to take a break?
That's what's happening.
We can take a break, and I'll call my Oklahoma guy and get him on here, and he can help break it down for you. Matt,
you've ruined my life.
Matt in DC, you're on with Up Tempo.
This is the other one.
Oh my gosh, it's T-Rex. Yeah, your auto screen failed. It doesn't tell me who you are, so I try to do some muscle memory, number memory, if you will. T-Rex, welcome on to Up Tempo.
Oh yeah, we do have the same area code. How y'all doing today?
Good. Pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm doing okay. Keep it is at 45%. Shave is at 55%. So we're behind a little bit.
How long
right
is it
now.
up for? Is it up for the rest of the day?
I think it's up for the rest of the day. It's up for 3 hours.
Oh, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're okay, T-Rex. We're okay.
Well, seeing as I'm somebody who hasn't even held a razor, let alone, purchased a razor in years. I couldn't even, my fiance never even seen my face. She's only seen me with a beard. And we're going to keep it that way. I'd say keep it because don't let the haters put you down.
Yeah.
Every great philosopher, every great mind in history had to fight through persecution and had to push through. And just like your facial hair has to push through the little baby pores you have, it will prevail. You just got to give it time. You got to love it. You got to touch it a lot. You got to rub on it. You got to tell it at night, like, hey, little mustache, I love you. Yeah. And it'll become thick and voluptuous one day.
I'm effectively Socrates, is what T-Rex just said. Every philosopher has faced scrutiny.
He's so right.
I think that's how it works, too. I think you love your beard, and then that's how it goes. You
coddle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armstrong, you know.
Love you back.
Cole, you know. You coddle it. Yeah. And it loves you back.
I'm pretty harsh to mine. That's why it doesn't come back.
T-Rex, what do you think? Do you think if Baylor doesn't play another men's basketball game again this year, that they should still be Big 12 champions?
You must listen to the call at 3 o'clock. Oh, all right. Well, here I'll repeat my hot take from yesterday that a few people on Twitter didn't like, and I don't care about them because I don't concern myself because great philosophers don't get detracted. It depends, in my opinion, it depends on what the final standings record-wise looks. And I think Smokey made a good point yesterday about, if like Baylor was 9-0 and the next guy was 15-3, then, the math would point towards, the 15-3 just based on that. I think that we have to at least have played everybody once. That's only fair in my opinion. And this is why I say, and obviously I want to play every game you can. Win or lose, I want to play every game. There's no guarantees, right? So, but that can go both ways. Like I could say, well, we could lose those games, but hey, we could win them also. Nothing's guaranteed. So I think we have to at least play everybody once just for it to be a fair shot. Otherwise, and this has nothing to do with what other fan bases are going to say. Oh, y'all didn't really win it because y'all didn't play enough games or this or that. It does suck that we're dealing with this. In my opinion, it seems like more often or we're impacted a little bit more than some other teams, not all. I mean, Texas had a big delay. And then we, basically just put them back in their grave when they came back. But, I think we got to at least play everybody once for it just to make sense. But, hey, I'll be honest, and I didn't get to say this yesterday when I talked on the call on Smokey yesterday. If we have a trophy, you're dang right I'm going to hoist that thing up and I'm going to celebrate it. And I'm going to put it all over Twitter and I'm going to let every other fan base know that they can kiss it because it's our trophy and you can put every asterisk next to it you want. But reality, it would be nice to win it outright, what I would say, quote unquote, the right way. But hey, we're all given the same hand of, we all have the same deck of cards this year. We can't control everything. So if at the end of the day, old Bobby Boy at the Big 12 headquarters hands us the trophy on February 27th after we defeat the Jayhawks, I will storm the court in Lawrence and I will put that trophy above my head and stomp all over the Jayhawk logo like T.O. did against the Cowboys when he was with the Eagles. So, yeah, I would like us to win it by beating everybody just so we could just say, hey, we beat all of you twice. But I'll take a trophy any way we can get it.
Outside of that, I concur. I mean, if the Bears take the trophy, they take the trophy, and if they get it, I'm going to celebrate it as if there's no asterisks, and we'll get to that in a second. But Bear games today: Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. What do you use?
So I used to be a Pandora user for a long time, and it just kind of, ever since probably junior high, high school. Never was an Apple user. Had a couple iPhones, but I don't believe in strict proprietary technology that's 5 years behind the curve. So I'm no longer an Apple user when possible, other than my Beats headphones, because hey, that's just can't do anything about that. But I use Spotify now mostly because it came free. Got a free subscription through, I think, my phone or through my credit card or something, and we just stuck with Spotify ever since. So it is nice. Armstrong, I think you made a good point about if you're not sure what you want to listen to, you can pretty much just go on there and find anything and then, build a playlist or do whatever. I just tell it to play music and then, see what happens.
Also, you've got a battle to the death between a Wildcat and a Cyclone. I know you hate Iowa State.
So I do hate Iowa State, and I can never vote for them.
He does.
Also, to iterate here, kind of split in something, Matt Campbell is making a power move, and so is Iowa State. Iowa State knows he's going to get bought out, so they're doing the same thing. Maybe not the same plan necessarily. I don't know if Baylor planned for that or not, but it's going to be the same situation. Maybe not this year, but it's coming. Matt Campbell will get bought out by somebody. Iowa State's making a smart move, so we'll give credit where credit's due there. He won't be there till 2028 or whatever. But even if it is, then it'll just be another 7 years without a Big 12 championship. Or a championship of any kind, actually, since 1912. But I'm going to go with the Wildcat. And simply put, tornadoes are great. They are strong. They are powerful.
They are
but
great.
When you look at Iowa State, they don't even know what their mascot is. Are they a bird? Are they a tornado? Are they a bunch of crybabies? Are they a bunch of keyboard warriors? They don't know what they are. They have an identity crisis. The Wildcat's going to walk up and just smack them in the face. They don't know what they are. So I'm going with the Wildcat.
Battle to the death between a Sooner and a Red Raider.
All right. This is my question in regard to Sooners, Red Raiders, and Mountaineers. So they're all persons, right? They're all human characters.
They are human characters. This is not a costume. Yeah. This is a real person.
Do the guns come with them? Like, do they have their gun?
Yes.
Is it a real person? Is it a real Sooner? Is it a real Mountaineer?
Yeah. It's a real. They are real Sooners, but they like a Sooner will have a musket-esque thing, and a Red Raider will have 6 shooters. Because it just makes sense.
Okay, I'm going with the Red Raiders for multiple reasons, but I think that the horse will run circles around that wagon. And their rider has a TikTok, and I've never seen a TikTok from a wagon. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. And she's kind of cute. Don't tell my fiance I said that.
Laser guns. All right, thanks for your call, T-Rex.
Second Bears.
Is the Sooners like... I always see them running with the wagon, and there's multiple people with the Sooners. So my thing is, like, is it one on
It is one
6?
Sooner. It is one-on-one.
Oh, it's one-on-one. Okay,
it's one Sooner.
Yeah, but they have more than muskets, let's be clear.
Sooners? What else does a Sooner have?
A wagon.
Okay, they have, like, rifles and pistols.
Rifle, musket.
Nunchuck skills.
There's a huge difference between a rifle and a musket.
Well, then Mountaineers have rifles, too.
No, they don't.
Really?
Mountaineers...
I truthfully don't know the difference.
Yeah, what we need to look up
a Mountaineer, I'm thinking like early 1800s. A Sooner, I'm thinking like early 1900s. There's a huge difference in weapons.
No, not early 1900s. Sooners like 1850s, 60s.
Sooners is the name given to settlers who entered the unassigned lands, which is now known as Oklahoma, in 1889. So really 1800s.
I did not know it was that late.
This is you got
wow.
Gatling gun has been invented.
Is Mountaineer like Davy Crockett? Like, is Davy Crockett considered a Mountaineer?
He's not considered a Mountaineer.
Davy Crockett's hardcore.
He's not as rugged as a Mountaineer.
But I would consider that it's the time period.
Okay, interesting.
You know what Davy Crockett's tied to? Something that we can never forget.
Alamo.
Remember it.
Oh my gosh.
Remember
that was great.
I was
like, what is he tied to?
I was like, he's going to say something really obscure here.
That was awesome.
The Alamo.
That was
I didn't.
Great.
I was just going to, it was a history lesson.
Okay.
We have to remember it.
I was pretty shook because I knew I wasn't going to know what you were going to say if it was more obscure than the Alamo.
But no,
I almost didn't know the Alamo.
It was the Alamo.
How could I forget?
Born in the mountaintops, Tennessee.
Really?
Great state in the land of the free. You not know the song?
Yeah.
No.
The Ballad of David Crockett?
Rocket Top.
What?
Rocket Top, Tennessee.
Hey.
You don't know the Ballad of Davy Crockett?
We just sang.
I don't know that one either.
We just sang.
I thought it was Rocky. I thought you were singing Rocky Top.
Okay, I'll have to educate you.
I know he did ballet.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
The ballet of Davy Crockett?
A ballad.
You did ballet?
No, I don't believe so.
I'm just kidding.
I know you are.
Walking in Waco.
Joking around.
Going for 500.
What?
What is walking in Waco?
I'm now moving my mic away from my mouth because I don't want to talk to y'all anymore.
Oh my goodness. Hey, if you're watching out there on Periscope or, because Sarah Ferris says nothing wrong with Apple Music. All right. Thank you.
There we go, Sarah.
All right, Sarah.
Holla, Sarah.
Gotta be the Baylor's King says, we don't play another game. This is debatable for being the Big 12 champions. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Stephen Vaughn says, you need to shave it.
Hey.
All right, Stephen. Apparently, you're leading me in a bad direction, in a bad path. Even my mom. I want to show you. My granddad, my grandpa just texts me. Hey, Drake, I vote that shave that fuzz off your face.
No.
Unless your girlfriend wants it on there.
Does she?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Well,
yeah, I don't have time.
We need to ask us.
Shave that face.
The sorority girls will probably have some good insight.
My mom says, "I love you, but you need to shave." Puke face.
Aww.
To which I respond, "You don't control my life anymore. I'm flying with my own wings to the beat of my own drum.
Yep.
You're being a helicopter mom, and I need to break free."
I love that. There we go.
That's what it is.
Let's go.
That's what it is. You gotta tell them what's up around here.
Let's go.
I gotta break free and be my own person.
That's so true.
I gotta grow my own stash.
You need to have respect for your mother.
I gotta grow my own stash.
You need to have respect for your mother.
If it helps at all, she knew that it was satirical and sent laughy faces. More so than laughy faces, she sent a picture of me with a beard and me without, and was like, look how much worse you look with it. God bless him.
I really do like it.
I love what this has done.
Got a video
to us.
for you.
Oh, no.
You have a video for us?
Should you skip shaving and save yourself from potential razor burn? Or should you get a
Yes.
How to shave your face.
I'm going to skip shaving and save myself from potential razor burn.
This burning question to everyone's satisfaction.
For anyone who can't see,
You will need
this guy's a nerd who's shaving.
a razor.
This guy's a loser.
I just literally looked up how to shave your face.
It's the same guy from the championship game.
Cool water.
The championship game.
Towel.
Championship game,
Aftershave
Alex.
lotion or moisturizer of your choice.
Thank you for that. I will shave.
I can send you the full video.
My face is shaved, and I still don't think you should shave your face.
I won't then. Fine.
If I could grow that, I would.
If I... Why are you on board with it? What is wrong?
Actually, I voted keep it on the soda
Well, then why?
I love it.
See, Armstrong's a fan. We're going to be the Bearded Boys. That'd be a new name.
Except for I'm actually shaving.
You're shaving tonight, all the way.
All the way.
Why?
Well, because I don't like it when it gets this long, and I'm clean shaven or let it go. I
Really?
don't trim.
Really?
You look like the Abominable Snowman
Thank you.
from Monsters Inc.
Oh,
You see it?
Cornelius? Or what's his name?
You're
It's Cornelius,
thinking
right?
of like the guy from
The guy who's in Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Yeah. I think that's who you look like.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I see both. I see both. Yeah.
Same character.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you look good.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I like it. Diet white.
You're a hot dude, Armstrong. I'm not
Diet
gonna lie to
white.
you.
Wow.
You're
I
a
took him to
hot
dinner.
dude.
I heard to take him to dinner.
That should be a Bear Games question.
I heard to take him to
Is
dinner.
Armstrong's a heart dude?
Is he a heart dude?
Is Armstrong a heart dude
Is he
and
a heart dude?
Hot dude with a big heart.
I'm a heart dude.
Is he a heart dude with a big hot?
Yeah.
That's what he is.
All right.
All right. Coming up after this break, we're going to come back and talk. If Baylor does not play one more basketball game all season long, I know, we're going to talk about sports. Imagine that.
I love it.
If Baylor does not play one more basketball game all season long, are they still Big 12 champions? And is there an asterisk that goes beside it? Yeah, then we have some other stuff we're going to talk about too. SicEm Pick'em is also coming up in a second. And I have Topgolf, Armstrong. Ooh. And I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. Armstrong Sims Cole's with us today. This is Up Tempo. Tee it up this spring as Topgolf Live brings the epic Topgolf experience to Waco and McLean Stadium February 25th through 28th. To purchase your tickets today, please visit www.topgolflive.com, www.topgolflive.com.
It was a relatively tame night in college basketball with the nation's biggest upset taking place in the Big 12, although calling it an upset is almost a stretch. Unranked Kansas knocked off 23rd ranked Oklahoma State at Allen Fieldhouse 78-66, thanks to 23 points from David McCormick and a dominating second half performance overall. Elsewhere, Gonzaga struggled with BYU on the road, winning 82-71. Number 4 Ohio State beat Maryland at Maryland 73-65. Minnesota beat Nebraska at home 79-61, and San Diego State trounced San Jose State 85-54. Outside of gameplay, a video of North Carolina basketball players at a party following the Duke game was leaked yesterday, just hours before their Monday night game, leading to a postponement against Miami. On the women's side, the number 2 UConn Huskies fought back to beat number 1 South Carolina at home 63-59 to claim the top spot in the sport. Paige Beckers totaled 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for the game. And number 10 Arizona blew out 11 Oregon on the road 79-59. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. So Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Alan Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into Up Tempo. I'm Drake Toll. It's J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims. Cole is with us today. Grayson Grunday will be on in just a second. He's over there eating his no Chipotle today, but he did bring a giant water bottle.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Stay hydrated.
This right now, the question of the day today is whether or not Baylor men's basketball will be Big 12 champions if they do not play a game again this season. If Baylor men's basketball ends right now due to COVID-19, which is not, I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, there is no legitimate chance right now that we've seen that that's a real happenstance. However, if that does take place, is Baylor still the Big 12 champion, and what kind of asterisk is put onto that?
There is absolutely an asterisk, okay? So let's make sure that's 100% on the record. They don't play a third of their conference games. Like 5 or 6 of your 18 conference games you just don't play. So there's an asterisk there for sure.
Well, they wouldn't play 9.
They wouldn't play 9. Oh, yeah, so sorry, right now, if all the games kept postponed and they played the rest of their schedule. So if they don't play any of their schedule left, half their conference schedule is not played. With that being said, they would have played everybody but one team, West Virginia, which is like a very reason. Like, let's say they lose both those games. Let's say they even lose both those games to West Virginia. Baylor is still the best team, unequivocally, in the conference. And in a COVID year, you have to put some good faith in these teams. Like the same reason Ohio State got into the playoff for football. Different sport, but the same circumstances with COVID. Baylor's the Big 12 champ. There's for sure an asterisk, but in a COVID year, like there's going to be an asterisk next to everything, right?
If Baylor does not play one more men's basketball game in this regular season in the Big 12, they are, period, without question, not Big 12 champions. Not an asterisk, not a trophy. There's nothing that goes along with that.
You're joking.
There's nothing that goes along with that.
You're joking.
West Virginia's 6-3 right now in the Big 12.
Okay.
Oklahoma's 7-4. Texas Tech 6-4. Kansas is 7-5.
Okay.
Granted, Baylor has beaten every one of those teams aside from who? West Virginia.
Right.
West Virginia is still number 2 in the conference. They could, if things go nuts, they would then finish the conference slate 13-3,
Okay.
missing 2 games against Baylor. Okay, that 13-3 compared to Baylor's 9-0. Granted, Baylor is great. Baylor is the best team possibly in the country. They're not Big 12 champions with 4 less wins than West Virginia in conference play without playing West Virginia. If Baylor only plays 8 of the 9 opponents they have in conference play, how can you constitute and make a legitimate case for 17-0, 9-0 Baylor to be a Big 12 champion when they haven't played everybody and West Virginia has 4 more wins than Baylor in conference? Let's say this. West Virginia goes 11-5.
Okay.
They're still Big 12 champions.
But why are they the Big 12 champion if they haven't played the best team in the conference?
Why is Baylor
They haven't lost.
the Big 12
They're the number 2
champion
team in the
if they
country.
haven't
They haven't
played
lost
the
anybody.
number 1 team in the conference
They
in
haven't
wins?
lost anybody. They are the number 1 team in the conference when it comes to wins overall, win percentage. They play the toughest schedule.
But you could say that there are years where, say, like, okay, when Duke won the national championship in 2016, Kentucky was the best team in the country that year. They went 38-1. The best team in the nation doesn't always win the national championship. The best team in the conference doesn't always win the conference tournament championship or the regular season championship.
But your sample size is much larger when it comes to a conference. I mean, 9-0, Baylor is still a very respectable 9-0, and they haven't even had a close game.
They haven't played West Virginia.
Double digits.
They haven't played West Virginia.
They haven't played West Virginia, but West Virginia also, you look at common opponents, Baylor's wiped the floor.
But they haven't played each other.
But if we're not getting that game, we're not getting that game. So West Virginia hasn't played Baylor. We don't know about West Virginia versus Baylor. We don't know how they match up. Look at common opponents because that's all we have to go off of. And we have good faith in Baylor. They haven't lost a game. So number 2 team in the country, I have to say, with the information we're given, there's an asterisk, but Baylor's still the Big 12 champion.
So you're going to judge your conference champion when
Yes.
West Virginia has, say, 2-3 more wins in conference play. You're going to judge it on common opponent instead of who actually won more games in conference play.
Yes, because they haven't played each other and Baylor has played a tougher schedule. Let's look at outside of conference too. So the goal is to get the best team,
No, you can't
right?
look outside of conference.
Let's
This
look
is
at the best
Big
team,
12
right?
championship.
We want to see the best team in the Big 12, right?
No, in Big 12 play.
We want to see the best team that the Big 12 has to offer.
In Big 12 play.
Why is Big 12 play
because
the
that's
caveat?
who wins a conference championship. It doesn't. You can go 0-10 in non-conference, sweep the Big 12, and you're still a Big 12 champion.
Right, but if we
it
don't
doesn't
get
matter
the-
what you do in the non-conference.
If we don't get the head-to-head, then what else do we have to look at? Common opponents, and we have to look at other games they've played.
Nothing in the non-conference will decide who the conference champion is.
Okay, so then let's look at just conference then. Baylor has won the entire slate in the Big 12, except for West Virginia, and West Virginia hasn't had to play Baylor.
Okay. Baylor. So you're now going to knock West Virginia. You're going to harm West Virginia for the
absolutely.
fact that Baylor couldn't play them twice.
100%. 100%.
So West Virginia wins 12 games in conference play. Baylor wins 9. And you're going to give the conference championship to Baylor, who will not have played a game from February 4th all the way into the middle of March.
Okay. So
a
West
month
Virginia,
without games. And you are going to put that on West Virginia and say, hey, you're still number 2 in the conference.
Absolutely.
You won 12 games in the Big 12 this year.
West Virginia beat Texas Tech by 1.
Okay.
Baylor wiped the floor with Texas Tech. So at that point, don't you look at common, do you not put any more stake into common opponents?
I don't know how you can, especially in a year like this, where West Virginia, Oklahoma State beat Kansas. Oklahoma State beat Texas. Oklahoma State lost to TCU. So then where's your common opponent argument? There's not one. The common opponent
really
argument. So Oklahoma State.
Right.
Oklahoma State beat Texas, right?
Okay.
Top 10 Texas. Then they lose to TCU. That doesn't mean TCU is better than Texas.
No, it doesn't. But if you look at the whole sample size, Baylor has not lost to anyone that West Virginia's lost to. And I get we don't get the head-to-head. That sucks. And it's bad for college basketball we don't get the head-to-head. But as a whole, all you have to go off is good faith and the fact that Baylor has beaten all of the people that West Virginia has lost to. So if we got to head-to-head, I would like to think Baylor would be favored. I like to think that we're going to give Baylor the edge of, the shadow of the doubt, the benefit of the doubt.
But it's not guaranteed they'd win.
No, but it's not guaranteed that West Virginia would win
But
either.
if West Virginia has 3 more wins in Big 12 play, why can't they be conference champions? Why do they have to get the short end of the stick? Because Baylor couldn't play the last month of their schedule.
Because what's their conference record at that point?
At that point, say West Virginia finishes the conference at 11-5, 12
let's say they
4.
win out.
Okay, we'll say they win out, and then they're going to be at 12, 14, 13-3.
13-3, and Baylor's 9-0, and they don't play another game.
That's 4 more wins in conference play, and Baylor will have not have played a month, and you are going to say, sorry, West Virginia, you're not Big 12 champions. You played the entire conference slate, except for Baylor, which was not your fault.
Absolutely. So then they have 2 losses against Baylor. Or let's say they even split with Baylor. Let's say they split. They have 1 loss at Baylor, and they're what?
Well, now Baylor
13-4.
now Baylor has 10 wins.
They have 10 wins, and it's 13-4.
If they split, West Virginia is without a doubt the conference champion.
You think so? 13-4 and 10-win Baylor that hasn't lost to anyone else in their schedule?
But you said they split.
Yeah, they
so
split.
Baylor 10-1, West Virginia 13-4. Absolutely, it's West Virginia.
I disagree.
They have more wins.
Baylor hasn't even like Baylor's closest win is 8 points. Texas Tech.
I don't like that hypothetical, though. There's no situation in which Baylor only plays West Virginia twice. That's a hypothetical that doesn't exist.
What hypothetical do you like?
The hypothetical that Baylor doesn't play another game this season is something that could be. That is so far-fetched, but it's not impossible.
Right.
Say Baylor doesn't play another basketball game in the regular season. There are women's teams that have canceled their seasons outright.
Yeah.
Multiple schools in the Power 5 in the country. So Baylor says, we're not playing again in the regular season. Boom. They only have 9 games they played in conference play. West Virginia, on the other hand, plays 16 in conference play, and now they get the short end of the stick. You're saying, Baylor, you only played 9 this season. You took the last month off because of COVID. We're still going to give you the Big 12 championship trophy.
I even think everybody in the state of West Virginia would feel just dirty holding that Big 12 trophy.
Not one bit.
They would just feel grimy and just upset with themselves.
Bob Huggins,
100%.
Bob Huggins would hold up the stool in the left hand, Big 12 championship trophy in right.
Huggy Bear?
Without a doubt.
Dude, I don't think so. I really think it's hard for me to say.
Let's flip it.
Baylor doesn't. Yeah, okay, let's flip it. Let's do it.
Texas Tech, Oklahoma.
Right.
Okay, Oklahoma has yet to see Baylor at home. What if Oklahoma wins out? They finish 14-4 in conference. It would be 13-4. If they finish 13-4 in conference in Oklahoma, Baylor's got the head-to-head. Baylor won at home,
right,
but they never played on the road in Norman. What if Oklahoma wins in Norman?
So it's head-to-head. Baylor beat the Big 12 champion, and they haven't lost. Look at that resume.
But what if Baylor goes 0-9? What if Baylor plays the rest of their Big 12 schedule and goes 0-9?
Baylor's not going to go 0-9.
You say that.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that. You can't confirm that. You can't confirm it.
Look who Baylor has left on their schedule.
You can't confirm it.
You can absolutely confirm that Baylor would not have 9 losses the rest of the way.
You can't confirm it. That's the thing. That's another hypothetical, that you cannot discount the other teams in conference that play a full slate because Baylor did not play 18 games.
Right. Now, the whole thing that Baylor not being the Big 12 champ is also hypothetical, that West Virginia was going to win out. What if West Virginia doesn't win out?
Okay, what if West Virginia wins their next 4 games? Wins 4 of their last however many games they have left to play. Then West Virginia's a Big 12 champion. They have 1 more win over Baylor in conference play.
So why is the burden on proof on the other teams? Like, why is the burden on proof
because
not
Baylor's
with Baylor?
not playing in the situation. Burden of proof's not on Baylor because they're not playing for the next month in this situation.
So they just so in a COVID year where everybody's dealing with COVID, and Baylor has won all of their games. Baylor's won every single game you asked them to play in the conference, and because they get COVID, which is Texas' fault to begin with, let's just say that. Circumstances outside of their control, they've won every game you put in front of them, and you're going to say they're not Big 12 champs.
They played 9 games.
They played 9 games that were all in conference.
But you have no idea. Okay, so I get it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lean with you here and say Baylor would not go 0-9. Right. It'd be silly. But what if Baylor goes 3-6? That's not impossible. Remotely impossible.
That's a hypothetical too.
But it's not. What this entire situation is hypothetical.
Your whole thing is saying if Baylor doesn't play the rest of the year, which again, hypothetical. Mm-hmm. So let's say they don't play the rest of the year.
Right.
So all you have is 9-0 Baylor, and you have 13-3 West Virginia.
Okay.
So is there any other team? Let me ask you this: any other team outside of West Virginia that gets a nod for potential Big 12 champ?
100%.
Like if Baylor's the only team that doesn't play,
100%. Kansas, Oklahoma,
the Kansas
Texas
team Baylor
Tech.
beat twice.
Twice? Nope. Once.
That would beat them by 8.
So they didn't get the head-to-head.
Okay.
If they didn't get the opportunity
head-to-head.
to split. They didn't get the opportunity to split, I should say. They did get the head-to-head.
Okay. It wasn't even that close at home.
Nah, Baylor didn't cover. Baylor didn't cover. Baylor didn't cover.
Stop. They didn't cover.
Baylor didn't cover.
A benchwarmer hit a 3. Don't give me the they didn't cover argument.
Did they cover?
Don't give me that.
Did they cover?
Don't give me that.
Did they cover?
Did they cover have anything to do with how good they are?
No, I don't think so. But,
okay, then
but
why are you
you
saying
can't
did
be
they
like,
cover?
oh, it wasn't a blowout.
It was double digits before he hit a 3.
If Baylor only plays 9 games in the Big 12 and then another team plays 16 and they win more games than Baylor, how are you going to say Baylor is still the Big 12 champion?
Because Baylor played the cards they were dealt and they won. They won all of their games. And I don't think they should be docked because in a COVID year, they got COVID. That wasn't even their fault. And they won all their games. Like they effectively played the cards they were dealt all the way through.
What if another team plays with the cards they were dealt and wins more games than Baylor?
Yeah, they also have more losses, and they also lost to Baylor, unless West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Right, and West Virginia has more losses to common opponents.
I think West Virginia. Okay, then what do you think the Big 12 does? In a scenario where Baylor doesn't play for the next month, and West Virginia wins out, I know that's not impossible, though. West Virginia's playing decent basketball.
Sure, let's just say hypothetically they win out.
They win out. At that point, West Virginia finishes at 13-3 in conference play. Baylor's 9-0. What do you think Bob Bowlesby does to the Big 12?
I think you give it to Baylor. I think you have to give it to Baylor because Baylor hasn't lost. They have the best win percentage in the Big 12. You don't get the split between West Virginia, which sucks, but it's not anybody's fault. Like, if you want to blame someone, blame Shaka Smart, okay? If you want to blame someone, blame COVID. But you can't blame Baylor. Everything within Baylor's control, they have handled all the way through and have won all their conference games. Even if they lose both of those to West Virginia, I think they probably still run the table. If you want to play hypotheticals, they probably still run the table in the Big 12, have the 2 losses, and they're still Big 12 champs.
You know what's kind of crazy? You were talking about non-conference earlier. West Virginia has played 6 teams in the AP poll. Baylor's played 4. Oklahoma's played 8 teams in the AP poll.
Which teams?
Texas Tech has played 6 teams. Kansas has played 10 teams.
So now you want to talk non-conference?
Baylor's played 4.
Now you want to talk non-conference?
I don't. I'm just saying, to your point earlier, if we would have continued on that point, that's why I don't want to talk non-conference.
Okay. How'd they do in those non-conference games?
Competition.
How'd they do?
3-3, 4-4, 2-4, 5-5, 3-4.
How many did Baylor lose non-conference?
Baylor went 4-0.
Okay.
They won with the cards they were dealt.
Okay. So Baylor.
But if
we did have that conversation.
But if Baylor
wins
has
all the non-conference games, right?
I don't know. The sample size is different.
The sample size is like a game. 4-0 versus what?
6 games. 6-game difference. 4-game difference there.
For non-conference, it's 4 games versus 6 games.
No, it's not. These aren't necessarily non-conference either. It's just overall AP.
If they weren't to play the rest of the games.
Yes, Baylor would finish playing 4 AP poll teams. Kansas would finish playing 10.
So does non-conference matter or no?
No, but some of those are conference games. That's not all non-conference.
Okay.
I just don't. If Baylor's got 9 wins, West Virginia has 12 wins, you've got to give the nod. West Virginia has 3 more wins in Big 12 play. They played with the cards they were dealt. They never got to play Baylor. They could have beat Baylor twice.
Okay.
West Virginia is your Big 12 champion, no asterisk.
So let's say West Virginia, let's say we have this conversation in a week, and West Virginia has a couple more losses on their record. Is that conversation different with Baylor not playing any games? And I know I'm throwing you a lot of hypotheticals here, so I'm sorry.
Try that again.
If West Virginia plays the rest of their schedule, obviously they don't play Baylor. So West Virginia, let's look up their schedule here.
They go
to Texas, which is tough. Let's say they win that game.
Okay.
They lose to TCU at TCU.
Why?
Weird year. Okay, you want to flip it? They lose to Texas at Texas.
Okay, I like that better.
Beat TCU, beat Kansas State. Is West Virginia still the conference champion?
If they win 11 games in Big 12 play and Baylor wins 9, yes.
That's the wrong answer.
2 more wins. Matt in D.C. is on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Matt, you're on with Uptempo.
Guys. All this arguing is irrelevant, okay? Because there's a thing in the college in Big 12 basketball that's happened many times. It's called CoChampions, okay? The way the basketball works, even if, say, Baylor and West Virginia, we both got to play all 18 games, and Baylor and West Virginia went 18-0, and we went 16-2, and we had 2 losses against West Virginia, they would still hand both teams co-conference championships. It's happened before, so it doesn't matter. Even if we go 9-0 and they go 14, whatever, they'll probably just decide, all right, both champions, or it'll go down to winning percentages, and it doesn't matter because it's all what's going to be agreed upon in the tie-breaking rules. So I think today Mac Rhodes should be on this Tuesday. I think maybe we ask Smokey to ask him, hey, in the event of, one team plays less, what does the actual Big 12 rules say right now, or has it even been decided? I'm sure they'll have an efficiency plan, but even that's all irrelevant because if this team does not make a Final Four but wins the conference, no one's going to care because a Final Four banner is all that matters in college basketball. No one remembers conference championships. No, it doesn't carry the weight like it does in football.
I would still like one. I would still like
all
one of
that
those.
matters is a Final Four banner. Okay? That's the equity. All right. We could go. I don't care if we go 9-9 every year, but if we go to the Final Four national title, that's all that matters. Those Final Four banners, because everything goes to the tournament. All the weight is in the tournament, just now like it is in the CFP in football. All that matters is making the playoff and winning the tournament. We win the Big 12, get best on the first round, it's going to be a failed season.
There's still bragging rights, though. Am I wrong? In the Big 12, you still want to be the big dog in the Big 12.
About conference championships.
Oh, they absolutely care about conference championships. You don't think Scott Drew cares about conference championships with that incentive in his contract?
What can you sell to top recruits? A Final Four run or a Big 12 title?
Final Four
You
run.
sell both.
Final Four.
I'll buy both of those.
And if we don't get the Final Four, it's a failed season.
I agree.
Period.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with you. I'm just saying they're definitely relevant to win a Big 12 title. That's relevant for sure.
Right.
Is
we
it
just
more
got to find
relevant
out
than
the
Final Four?
tiebreaker.
No,
what's on paper? What's been approved by the commissioner? That's going to be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I'm with you.
know?
I'm with you.
Madden DC.
Yep.
What music outlet do you use?
Say that again?
What music outlet do you use? You use Spotify, Apple Music?
I like YouTube.
Wow.
I like YouTube and Amazon.
Cost effective.
Wow.
I like that.
From the concrete Gruel Rose. And then in a knockdown, drag out fight to the death, who wins between a Wildcat and a Cyclone?
Well, the Cyclone's going to win because it's going to wipe out the entire habitat of the Wildcat. So even if it doesn't kill it with the initial Cyclone, it's not going to have nothing to eat or live in.
Best logic we've had today. Best logic we've had today.
And then a Sooner or a Red Raider?
This is an interesting one because y'all both said that the Red Raider has his six shooters, right?
He does have six shooters. He does have six shooters.
We just checked. He does.
All right, and a Sooner was in the late 1800s, right? Late 1800s.
This is true. Armstrong looked it up.
All right, so by that time there were repeating rifles. There were no longer like Civil War muskets because in the early 1800s you had like the one-shot goes. Now going to the 1800s, you got the repeating rifle, so you're getting a lot of rounds off. You have the rifling and everything should be more accurate. So if he's attacked by a dude with a six-shooter, hey, if that guy knows how to shoot his rifle, he's going to take out that guy on a horse real easy.
But he's a Sooner, He's just got his little bonnet on. He's riding his schooner down the prairie,
He ain't by himself. They didn't go by themselves. They had to go in a big pack because they had the Native American threat.
He's by himself in this game, though. And that's what makes him. That's what renders him
he's got a repeating rifle. I'm going with the Sooner.
Wow.
Because he's also probably going to have a six-shooter on the side, too, once he's out of rounds on the rifle.
Sooner's a little more rugged. I think Sooner's a little more rugged. I think the fact that the Red Raider has a mask on makes him a little less rugged. It's almost like, you.
A little white-collar-ish.
Yeah.
A little ominous.
All right, thanks for calling, Matt in DC.
Thank you.
Okay, here's what we got.
Final Four banner. He's got a great point.
Final Four is what's going to sell. Final Four is going to sell.
Yep.
Okay, today is Dead or Alive Day. How about that? I know. Before that, though, Sick 'em Pick 'em.
Sick 'em Pick 'em.
Today, in the top 25, it's not an abundance of games, but it's more than yesterday.
Not a bunch.
Number 11, Alabama at South Carolina. Alabama is a minus 6-point favorite.
Bama does not lose, or I guess I'll say they've lost twice against the spread in conference games. They're 9-2. Bama is a lock in my mind of this one. They're on the road, so that makes you a little nervous, but I like Bama minus 6. That's actually one of my pick'ems today.
South Carolina just lost to Mississippi State 75-59. Alabama's coming off of 2 losses on the road against top 15 teams. There's no way Alabama wins it by less than 6. Bama minus 6 tonight.
Give it to me. You know another one that I like a lot? James Madison minus 5 against Elon.
Okay.
Now, this was the last Sick 'em Pick 'em we had as well. They covered that easily, 78-57. James Madison 9-3 against the spread, one of the best in the country. Elon's dropped their last 5. This to me is the lock of the day. I like this a whole lot. James Madison, lock it up, minus 5.
Texas, number 13, Texas at Kansas State. UT, 14-point favorites tonight. Kansas State, the last time they lost by 14 on the road against Kansas on February 2nd. Prior to that, they lost at Baylor. Remember that one. The last time they lost at home by 14, though, January 23rd. So it's been a little bit.
Okay.
They played Texas Tech close at home. I don't know about this one.
I like Texas minus 14. I just don't trust Kansas State. I can't get what I saw against Baylor out of my mind.
Texas has lost
I can't get out of my
3
mind.
straight. Texas has lost 3 straight.
They're going to bounce back? Are
Texas
they finally getting their win back against COVID?
Texas beat Kansas State by 15 at home, and this is a 14-point spread on the road. I like Kansas State plus 14.
They're just so bad against the spread, too. Kansas State's one of the worst teams in conference games. I like Texas to cover 14. I'm not picking it, but I like 14.
Number 14, West Virginia at number 7, Texas Tech. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. This one's tough. Tech's won 3 straight. West Virginia's won 2 straight, 4 out of the last 5. Give me West Virginia plus 5.5. Texas Tech wins it by 3 tonight.
I'm with you. That's a great take. Texas Tech also only, I think, like 2-8 against the spread in conference games. They're horrific in conference games. I'm with you. I lock that up. Plus 5.5. I'm tempted to take a money line.
Oh!
I'm tempted to take West Virginia money line. I just sat here and bashed them.
Not so fast. Iowa State. On the road, West Virginia only beat Iowa State by 4.
Huggy Bear.
Not a great road team. I like the plus 5.5 right now, but not a money line. Creighton, number 19, Creighton at Georgetown. Creighton 7.5-point favorites. One of the more inconsistent teams against the spread this season. They're 7-12 for a team that's 14-5 overall.
Jeez Louise. I haven't watched much of
Georgetown's also 8-6 against the spread, and they're 5-9 overall. That's a sad season.
See, I don't like touching this game.
Mind you, as well, Creighton lost at home to Georgetown. Now this one's at Georgetown. Creighton minus 7.5. Oh baby.
Give me
Georgetown
to cover 7.5.
Tough.
Give me Georgetown.
Plus 7.5.
I don't know much about either team, but give me Georgetown. That's
Plus
just 7.5. I don't like it.
Outside of that, Arkansas at Kentucky. Kentucky is a 1-point favorite at Rupp Arena tonight. It's effectively a pick'em game. What are you thinking?
Woo pig. It's one of my pick'ems, but it makes me nervous because I don't know like what Vegas knows. Why is Kentucky minus 1 point? Like, what do they know? It makes me feel like Kansas and Oklahoma State last night. So
Arkansas
I don't like that.
Sucks on the road.
Kentucky's 3-7 against the spread in conference.
Arkansas
Not
sucks
good.
on the road.
Really?
Arkansas sucks on the road.
You don't think they cover the 1 point? I like a money line tonight. I like a money
line. Arkansas.
Woo pig, baby.
I like Kentucky tonight at home on a money line -1 against Arkansas.
Against the home team.
Against the home team.
Oh, man.
Anything outside of that? South Alabama, Georgia State's at 1. That's a minus 5.5 for Georgia State. I don't know. Maybe there's Duke and Notre Dame play at 3:30.
Yeah, what do we think about that, Armstrong?
That's
Do you have a
gross.
take in that game? Duke and Notre Dame. As a Carolina fan, do you know anything about that game? Like, is Duke going to cover 7.5 against Notre Dame?
No,
I don't think.
I would say
I don't
not.
think they do.
I
I
would
don't
say
think
not.
they do.
Mm-mm.
I don't like
I'm
that.
gonna say no as well.
How about Michigan State?
How about them?
Minus 3.5 at home against Penn State. Michigan State's pretty bad this year. Am I
They're
wrong?
pretty bad.
They're like pretty
Penn
horrific.
State's pretty bad too, though.
Yeah, like I don't like that game, but 3.5. Are we sure that we're gonna go ahead and give
Penn
Michigan
State has won
the
3
nod?
out of the last 5. Somehow, magically. You know what Penn State does really well?
Cover.
Win at home. They beat Wisconsin at home. They beat Maryland at home. They beat Northwestern at home. I like Oh, they're on the road.
They're at Michigan State.
You know what they're really bad at? Playing on the road. You know what Michigan State's pretty good at?
Playing at home.
Playing at home. Give me Michigan State.
There we go.
-3.5.
There we go.
Outside of that, I think that's about it for the second pick today. Iowa State at TCU.
Yeah.
TCU's 6-point favorite. I like TCU by 6 right there. TCU's getting hot right now. St. John's at Butler. Butler's a 2-point favorite. Money line. Oh, baby. Money line pick of the day. No, they didn't. They flipping made St. John. St. John just won at Providence by 11.
Won the last
Against
5.
Villanova by 11. They beat Marquette on the road. They beat DePaul by 13. Freaking Butler's lost 1. They've lost 3 out of the last 4.
It's like, what do they know? What does
God
Vegas know?
bless.
What does Vegas know? I'm with you.
St. John's is so good against the spread right now, too.
Money line.
St. John's money line against Butler. Oh,
Let's
baby.
ride.
I'm putting all of my Monopoly money on that game.
Let's do it.
That's a chef's
I like that
kiss.
a lot. The Johnnies.
All right. Do you have the music, Armstrong? Literally any music?
Do you have Apple Music? That would probably be a reliable. That'd be a reliable source. How about YouTube from Matt in DC?
A little bit. Let's play Dead or Alive today. How about it, folks? Dead or Alive. Today we're going back to sports figures. Armstrong, JD, squaring off.
Oh boy.
Number 1, racing legend Mario Andretti.
I think he's dead.
Alive.
Mario Andretti's alive.
Oh, Andretti Speed Lab.
81
Mario
years
Andretti.
old for Mario Andretti.
I mean, not dang it, but like I wish I'd got that right. But I'm
You
glad
did
he's
not.
alive.
You
I'm just a
did not.
massive NASCAR fan. What can I say?
Really?
Was he NASCAR? I thought he was
No
Formula
idea.
1. I think he was
No
Formula 1.
clue.
Very, very good, Armstrong. Number 2, Ken Griffey Sr.
I think he's dead.
Alive.
He's alive! Ken Griffey Sr. is 70 years old today.
Oh, my.
How about it? Number 3, John Havlicek. NBA legend John Havlicek.
I think he's alive.
Legend John Havlicek.
John
dead.
Havlicek. He is dead. He would have been 80 years old today.
Killing it.
It is 3-0 on Dead or Alive so far.
I think he won by 4 last time we played.
Maybe the greatest head coach of all time. Some could argue this. He also holds the record for NCAA football wins all time, ahead of Joe Paterno because of the scandal. This man at Florida State, Bobby Bowden, dead or alive?
You know.
I know.
Armstrong?
I think I know. I think he's alive.
He's alive! Bobby Bowden's you do not do that to Bobby Bowden.
Well, if Paul sees this segment, he's going to kill me.
I love Bobby Bowden.
Then Armstrong will be dead.
What have you done?
Dead or alive.
What have you done?
I don't know.
Armstrong, dead or alive? Pele, soccer legend Pele.
He's dead, right? I think he's dead.
Alive.
He's alive! Pele, if you're watching this, you are 80 years old today. Touch
Thanks for
yourself.
watching, Pele.
You're alive. Congratulations.
Thanks, Pele.
Andre the Giant.
He's alive.
Andre
right?
the Giant. He was the giant man in the Princess Bride.
Wait a second.
I think
He's dead. He's dead.
He is dead.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant dead. Would have been 73 years old. Died really young.
Yeah.
Joe Frazier. Bing, 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 bing. Joe Frazier.
I think he's dead.
Alive.
Joe Frazier's dead. Joe Frazier. If
What
your
is it? I'm
family's
down by
watching,
2?
Hey, nobody. Yeah, you're down by 2. With 2 left.
Okay.
Nobody will ever forget Joe
Bottom of the
Frazier.
ninth.
Nobody.
Okay.
Will. I'm gonna let Armstrong pick first. These next 2.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
or
gosh.
you guys can't pick the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evil Knievel.
Dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Dang it. Well, I gotta say alive, but I know he's dead.
He is dead. Evil Knievel.
Evil Knievel,
is
baby.
dead. He would have been 79. He died at the age of
69.
Nice.
Nice.
And then, last but not least, legendary Yankees catcher Yogi Berra.
He's dead.
He's unfortunately passed away.
Yogi Berra died pretty recently, too. 2015. He would have been 95 today. Lived a long life.
Legend.
A long
Happy
life.
birthday,
To the
Yogi.
Berra family. To the Berra family. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims, and Cole. Armstrong is the winner of today's Dead or Alive, and this is Up Tempo.
It was a relatively tame night in college basketball, with the nation's biggest upset taking place in the Big 12, although calling it an upset is almost a stretch. Unranked Kansas knocked off 23rd ranked Oklahoma State at Allen Fieldhouse 78-66, thanks to 23 points from David McCormick and a dominating second half performance overall. Elsewhere, Gonzaga struggled with BYU on the road, winning 82-71. Number 4 Ohio State beat Maryland at Maryland 73-65. Minnesota beat Nebraska at home 79-61, and San Diego State trounced San Jose State 85-54. Outside of gameplay, a video of North Carolina basketball players at a party following the Duke game was leaked yesterday, just hours before their Monday night game, leading to a postponement against Miami. On the women's side, the number 2 UConn Huskies fought back to beat number 1 South Carolina at home 63-59 to claim the top spot in the sport. Paige Beckers totaled 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for the game. And number 10 Arizona blew out 11 Oregon on the road 79-59. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This is Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, you're home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwood Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into Up Tempo, Petty Clinic Low T, Bears Den. I am Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, and Cole are in today. Grace Grundafer joins at 12:30. But right now, with J.D. Pickell stepping out to take his dog to the dog park, we're joined by special guest John Capron, the head cross-country coach at Baylor University. Coach, you've been here what? It's got to be over 20 years now, whether it be a student or a coach. I mean, you're just Baylor through and through.
Yeah, I've been hanging out here a while. Baylor's been kind enough to keep me around. So definitely have Baylor coming out of the veins.
Not tired of the Waco scene yet. You haven't had enough Georges?
No, Waco's been very kind to my family and I, and been a great place to grow up from college life all the way to young married to just being a family here in Waco. It's been awesome.
So tell me, Coach, let's start there for those that don't know or maybe unfamiliar with you or your program. Really, what brought you to Baylor as a student and an athlete, I understand?
Yeah, so looking at a lot of places out of high school, I grew up in the bustling metropolis of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and was just looking to really get out of the state, and really found what Baylor had just as a faith-based institution. I thought that a good environment might be a little good spot for me to continue growing up, basically, with some good environment. And I was mature enough to make that decision, I think, at a young age in high school, and it proved to be true.
Wow. Well, then you obviously making home out of Baylor and being here for, like we said, now 2 decades as a Baylor Bear. Do you consider this place home? I mean, is this a destination job that you have working with the cross-country program?
Truthfully, yes. I get to do things at Baylor that aren't encouraged everywhere. From a faith standpoint, it's a part of what I do, and I want that to be the case. And there's not a lot of jobs in the country where we can do it at this high of a level, both athletically and from a spiritual setting. That's huge to me. And so, again, very rare combination that I'm very happy to be a part of.
So, Coach, on the cross-country side of things, I know you guys wrapped up your schedule last fall. What you saw with your cross-country program in the fall in competition with COVID and all the really being thrown for a loop on the men's and women's side, just kind of walk me through that. What was different for you guys?
Oh, just the protocols for sure. I mean, everyone's dealing with those day in and day out. Trying to spread out my team, telling them to stay apart on their runs. I mean, lots of weird adjustments. But in the end, we weren't sure what we were going to get, how far we were into the season. I mean, we knew that, with at any point, right, somebody could pull the plug and be like, all right, that was a good experiment. We're done here. And we've kind of seen that it's been a little haltering here and there with some of the other teams and whatnot. But we were blessed to be able to get most of our meets in. Only had a couple little snafus, but really what I talked about with my team was let's just get a season better. Like let's get better this year, whether we're racing and we get that opportunity, that blessing, or if we miss one or two. I just want to continue the production and the progression of my team. And we were able to do that, I think, at a really high level, actually.
When you look back at last season, too, I know there were a lot of questions with whether it be cross-country, track, or even football, basketball, about having athletes right there effectively on top of each other. You have so much close contact in those sports, and I know that was the big question. Will cross-country be able to run because of that? How did the NCAA and then your program in general address that being a concern?
We have the added bonus of, I think outside helps a lot of things. The wind blowing and all that. I don't know my physics on, droplet and particle spread and all that other stuff, but I do know that being outside helps a lot. And so we felt pretty safe. And then just the rigorous testing protocol that we were kind of subjected to, I think made us all feel pretty confident going in and out of meets. And then just even at practice, since we were all part of the same protocol, we kind of knew that as long as we kind of stayed in our little, again, overused, but bubble, these are our friends. This is what we do. We come to practice and we go to meets and these are our people. We felt pretty good about what we were doing day in and out. Pre-meets, 2 tests a week, non-meet weeks, we were testing at least once. And so kind of had a pretty good feeling about, who we were around immediately. Now, as long as we stayed in our lane, basically, we felt pretty good. But outside of that, you kind of had to depend on each other to, get to the next meet, basically.
I know you kind of touched on it, too, a little bit, Coach, with not just COVID restrictions, but team performance in the fall. And what can you say about your programs and their ability to fight through the adjustments and the new normal, overused, that really led them to compete in the fall?
Just a lot to overcome. I mean, but as long as they're putting in the work and putting in the prayer, I really think that as distance runners, it has helped a great deal for us to have a little bit more of a longitudinal approach of this, and sometimes that doesn't help the immediate of, the conference meets this weekend or whatever. But I think it's a very healthy outlook for a lot of distance runners to say, hey, this is just a piece in the process. And, we're going to get gradually better, but it's definitely a lot to overcome, when you miss a guy that's supposed to be at the meet that just, got contact traced and he's not going to be there anymore. And that's super tough. And every team has to deal with that and has dealt with that. But it's definitely helps kind of if you have the culture built in where everybody knows that, they could be called upon at any time and everybody needs to be ready to go always.
Yeah. Looking at the Big 12 championship meet for you guys with Lily and Connor, what they were able to do, and the disparity between the two, with Lily being a freshman and then Connor being a senior. I mean, what can you say about those two individual athletes and what they did in their performances at the Big 12 championship meet?
I was just super excited for them, and Lily's done amazing. Her ability to get here and just immediately take flight. Credit a lot to her. She missed out on her senior year of high school competition, and to be able to channel that into just flat out getting to work. She started her training for fall cross as soon as her track season for high school got unplugged. She said, okay, well, I don't have to do that, so let me still get started getting after cross country for my collegiate freshman year, basically. And to have that work into her being, at the top of our leading our team was really, really impressive. And as well as they did, both of those groups could have run better, Connor and Lily. But the only reason they didn't is because they absolutely went for it. And I'm never gonna, begrudge any of those athletes for doing that. And we can prepare a little bit more and expect a little bit more, but they were real close to running just exceptionally. They ran well, but they were real close to running very, very well. And so we'll keep building back up and make sure we support that and go for next time for sure.
Coach, kind of moving over into the crossover between track and cross country. We talked to Aaliyah Miller on the show just, I guess it's been a week or two ago, and she had mentioned how she herself had run cross country at one point. Really, how much athlete sharing is there between cross country and track? And then obviously you're connected with both programs. What does that look like for you?
It means a lot to me, but it means most for my athletes because most of my cross athletes will compete both in indoor and outdoor seasons. So you talk about off seasons with a lot of sports, and my cross and track athletes don't have one. Their summers are busy preparing for cross and usually running 60, 70, 80 miles a week over the summers. And then cross country starts in August. We go through November. January starts track season, and that goes until June, and then the cycle repeats. So my athletes kind of have to circle some dates on their calendar, say, hey, I'm going to go after these meets, and this is going to be where my emphasis is. But they're running at a pretty high level, pretty much 10 months out of the year. And so you get an athlete like Aaliyah, if she can help your program, we'll borrow her whenever we can. But she has big goals and big dreams to do with the track, and so cross country is sort of a build component for her, and we kind of borrow her for our meets whenever it fits into her training most often. I do have I don't know if she's agreed to this, but I'm going to borrow her next fall if she doesn't run really, really fast this spring track. So it's kind of a conditional agreement. I don't think we've shaken hands on it, but she's going to help my cross country team again if she doesn't reach the times that she's kind of slotted out for herself.
Wow. With that, you said over the summer, 60 to 80 miles a week, and that these athletes train effectively year round with cross country and track. Is this, with them being off, not being with the team or the program, how do you handle that as a coach over the last year where your athletes are displaced, but they've got to train or the success of the team's in jeopardy?
Technology's helped out a lot with that. We like everybody, we were on a lot of Zoom calls. I also have, if they're interested, they can send me their workouts and I can get GPS data on them. I have training logs that have heart rate data. I have a lot of things that I can do to keep tabs on my athletes when they want to be good. I can check in on them pretty easily. And the best ones do that. They ask me, hey, coach, did you see this workout? What do you think? How can I improve here? Is this mileage enough for this week? Do I need to back off? How can I do this safely? And so there's been a lot of things that I can do, a lot of back and forth, texting over the phone, commenting in the training logs that they're keeping. A lot of ways for us to do that, but a lot of it comes down to just them wanting to be good, and they're wanting their teams to be good and putting in the work.
For you, Coach, as someone who's worked with the track program and the cross country program, how much crossover is there for you? You talked about athletes working around the clock. Do you feel like you're in that same boat with cross country in the fall and then primarily track in the spring?
Yeah, similar to their schedules, we're kind of year round too, as far as the coaching is concerned. So I don't have to put in 68 miles a week for sure, which is great because that'd be tough these days. But we are kind of full go kind of all the time. There's some ebbs and flows for sure, but we're kind of in season most of the time. And so again, it's that constant readiness, I think, that does ask a lot of my athletes and kind of myself, but we manage, and I think we've done a great job of kind of staying ready and making sure the right people are ready at the right times.
For you as a coach too, is there something about cross country season that just means more? Is that your baby individually, or do you get that same rush whether you're indoor track, outdoor track, or cross country?
Well, I love cross because it is a little bit my thing, right? Like I don't have as many coaches helping me with that, right? The track is a little bit more when all the coaching staff kind of comes together, but Coach Harbour definitely oversees a lot of that and makes sure that we have what we need and that we're being able to compete at the highest level that we're able. but again, yeah, my name's definitely on that one for sure. And again, my team, it's kind of where the distance crew can kind of rally together and say, all right, this one's going to be ours. So like we're wearing this one, and what do we want that to look like at the end of the day? And then immediately after cross is over, we switch to track and say, all right, how can we contribute to make track even better? And the fun part is we got a great track team that we can be a part of. And, if we can contribute at whatever level, we're going to do great, because track's always performing at a really high level. So it's nice to both have your own thing and then to be able to contribute as well.
Kind of backtracking to you and your career at Baylor as an athlete and now as a coach, Todd Harbor, obviously his footprint is all over the track program as he's been here for so many years, and one of three head track coaches in the history of the Baylor program. You got the opportunity to run track at BU with Coach Harbor, I understand, and now being a coach under him, alongside him, with him. What is that like? What is your relationship with Coach Harbor?
It's great. I mean, it's been just outstanding as an athlete and someone that could kind of walk me through things, and him having the experience of running at the highest level, to just be like, hey, this is how you have to do it, and be like, oh, okay, well, let me see if I can do that workout, which never really went that well, actually. Workouts that he was able to say, hey, this is how you do it, and I would be like, I don't know if I'm hitting that one, Coach. I don't know if I have the 350 mile in my legs today. So that's always been fun to just, hear stories, and he'll be like, oh yeah, when I was talking to Steve, I'm like, Steve who? And he's like, Steve Scott. And I'm like, oh, Steve to you. He's got, people that were, big time people that he speaks to on the first name basis. That's always blown me away. But no, it's been great. And just the grow up process, again, from athlete to coach, and just having him to be able to consult with. And we laugh because, Coach Hart to Coach Harbor to myself, we'll throw workouts out there, and having not talked to either of us, none of us has spoken, and ended up on Monday or Tuesday, we're doing the same thing with our athletic group or whatever, our group that we're training individually. And just because that pass down of knowledge that has happened, and say, oh yeah, well, you did 200s today. That makes sense. Why wouldn't we do 200s today? So it's neat to have that commonality and just growth process throughout the whole program, I guess.
Coach, we've talked to Casey Lightfoot and Coach Harbor on the show about the Olympics and what it means to represent the country as an Olympian. And you've been around, seen your fair share of athletes come through Baylor and go on to eventually perform in the Olympics. Well, from a coach's standpoint, when you flip on the TV for the Summer Olympics and see an athlete that competing for the United States of America, what is that feeling like?
Oh, that's one of the best things ever. I mean, that's the goal for, I think, all coaches, right? I mean, we love the small stories that maybe don't make the news, but the ones that make the news are pretty awesome to see and be part of, and at whatever level. And as a graduate assistant or whoever I was, when Jeremy was running fast, I mean, to be like, oh, I got that guy money. Awesome. I wasn't coaching him necessarily, but I was getting his splits and making sure that there were a couple of practices where Coach Hart was gone or something that I was helping out. Or, back to Jeremy, I trained with him some. He was on the team with me. So, whether it's Jeremy or Will now, or, hopefully KC, pretty soon here, just to know that they've done it the right way. They've put in the work, and that Baylor's had a part in developing that is just awesome to see, and just know that, yeah, we're doing things pretty well here. And, our system, our program develops really, really good talent to the highest of levels. And that, I think it says to other athletes that are here, like, yeah, the system works. The people who are here that are they know what they're doing, basically. And so it's lovely to be able to be a part of that and just say, hey, things work around here. We have a great environment and a great platform for a lot of you to get better and to improve over time.
Along with that and your program with cross country, I know it bounced around a little bit here, but you talked about that recruits itself. The fact that Olympians are wearing USA across their chest and are Baylor Bears. For your program, when it comes to bringing in athletes with cross country and your outlook on the next few years, how close are you, do you feel like, to a Big 12 championship on the men's or women's side in cross country?
On the ladies' side, I'd say we're a lot closer. Just the way that the money stacks out across both sports, basically between the men and the women. There's a little bit more aid to deal with on the ladies' side. And so I think we get a few more girls stacked in here. I think competition-wise, it's going to get better rather quickly, actually. And I'm really excited about that. Even as soon as next year with some of the freshman girls that I have coming in. On the guys' side, it's always going to be a little harder with the less scholarship aid, basically, and the money just doesn't spread out as far. But I've got a really good working group of guys, and a couple of them I think are going to figure out how to stay here another year or two with some of the extra eligibility that's sort of sliding around, with Connor and hopefully Ryan staying through grad school. That's going to give me a great little senior class contingent that hopefully can do some work for us going forward. But I hope to be fighting, on the conference side, on the ladies' side, within a year or two. In that top 3 or 4. The Big 12 is kind of a monster of a conference, and there's a ton of distance power, basically, with Oklahoma State and Iowa State putting a ton of money into that. And then Texas is always going to be good. And so we've got our hands full, but I expect to be a lot more competitive rather quickly, actually.
I love it. And before we give you the old Bear Games questions of the day, have you had any conversations with Casey Lightfoot about slipping over and running cross country for you?
Every time he asks where he brings, where he puts his pole, it's not really welcome on the cross country course. And he likes to do things in 40-meter increments. And that's not as, unless there's a big puddle or something, maybe we could use him to help us get over or something. But no, there's people I try to borrow from track all the time. Casey hasn't made my short list. So he's athletically talented enough, he could probably do it. But I don't think he has any interest in adding his mileage up to where it needs to be able to be relative in an 8K.
I love it. How about, Coach, before we let anybody, our guests or our callers, before we let them go, we always play Bear Games on this show, and typically they're just a little takeaway from your day that usually not even sports related. But today, I got to ask you, when you're listening to music, are you using Pandora or Spotify, Apple? What do you got?
Oh man, I kind of use them all, truthfully. I've got Pandora going sometimes when we're out on the track. Good old Amazon, is in the kitchen. Just started Spotify. I haven't figured out how to turn on the clean lyrics on Spotify yet, so it hasn't gone well at my house. It's gone away quickly. I have to work on my allowances on the Spotify thing.
Outside of that, too, we currently have man of many trades there with all the throwing out Pandora too. Wow. Outside of that, we're doing a Big 12 mascot madness where we take mascots and make them real life animals or human, whatever it may be, put them in a cage, battle to the death. Today, it is a Wildcat and a Cyclone. If they have become real life, who's winning in that cage fight?
You got to give it to the Wildcat, I think.
Wow. On top of a tornado.
Yeah.
Is there a why there? There's got to be some kind of explanation.
Well, I mean, they got claws. They can kind of hunker down and just wait for it to go by, and then they're good.
Wow. I like this. I like that.
Yeah.
That's probably the best explanation for a Wildcat we've been given today. Wildcat is currently leading Cyclone on the Impact Health Labs gas stand caller line. Outside of that, this one's tough. A Sooner or a Red Raider?
I'd have to give it to the Raider, I think.
Yeah. 6 shooters.
Heavily armed. They got both pistols, yeah?
Yep. Both pistols. Got the horse, too. The Sooners just wearing his little bonnet. I don't know. I'm with it. I think the Red Raider's the one to go with here.
I think, yeah. More armed.
I love it. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. Love hearing from you and learn a little bit more about you and your program. And best of luck as this track season continues.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. Again, Coach Cameron with the Baylor track and field and cross country programs, head coach of Baylor cross country. And he's been here 2 decades now as an athlete and a coach. That is just a theme when it comes to Baylor coaches right now. I am Drake Toll, Armstrong, Sims, Cole, and Grayson Grundafer are here with us. Speaking of Grayson Grundafer, he joins the show up next to talk Baylor recruiting. This is Up Tempo.
It was a relatively tame night in college basketball with the nation's biggest upset taking place in the Big 12, although calling it an upset is almost a stretch. Unranked Kansas knocked off 23rd ranked Oklahoma State at Allen Fieldhouse 78-66, thanks to 23 points from David McCormick and a dominating second half performance overall. Elsewhere, Gonzaga struggled with BYU on the road, winning 82-71. Number 4 Ohio State beat Maryland at Maryland 73-65. Minnesota beat Nebraska at home 79-61, and San Diego State trounced San Jose State 85-54. Outside of gameplay, a video of North Carolina basketball players at a party following the Duke game was leaked yesterday, just hours before their Monday night game, leading to a postponement against Miami. On the women's side, the number 2 UConn Huskies fought back to beat number 1 South Carolina at home 63-59 to claim the top spot in the sport. Paige Beckers totaled 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for the game. And number 10 Arizona blew out 11 Oregon on the road 79-59. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. So Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culture Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the number 1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culture Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culture Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culture Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culture Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Penny Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Drake Toll, Cole Andrews, Grayson Grunday for Armstrong Sims is producing the show today. How about it on the mothership? Look at that, the mothership. Not a foreign word. Yeah, I know you love that word. Grayson Grunday for joins us today. Grayson, you had coined a name for this segment that I liked.
Yes, I did.
What was the name that you coined?
The Big Board.
The Big Board. It's the Big Board. Every Tuesday for a half hour or more, we'll talk recruiting with Grayson Grunday in studio. Grayson, let's start here. Grad transfer, UNLV 2021. I know you mentioned him last week, and now there's an official offer on the table. Walk me through what exactly is going on there.
Yeah, so Justice O, just not going to go with his last name. Tough last name to say, so I'd rather hear it from him before I start saying it out there. But he is a grad transfer from UNLV. He'll have 2 years to play wherever he goes. He's already got double-digit offers, but his offer list, primarily if you look at it, Baylor should hold the edge. If you look at the kind of offers that he has. But at 6'3", right about 320 pounds, he gives them some nice size. If he were to end up at Baylor, he would kind of come in and fill 2 potential roles. Guard, for sure. He can definitely play guard and be a starter next year. But then also at tackle, specifically right tackle. I don't think he's athletic enough to play left tackle, but he could provide some stability at that position too. My view on it, though, probably a guard, and Baylor probably looks for another tackle out there somewhere in the transfer portal, as guys just seem to be popping up daily. So that's kind of where they're at right now. I know communication has been big with Jeff Grimes and Eric Mateos, so now it's just kind of trying to close the deal, and also I think on Baylor's end, trying to make sure that he's the kind of guy that fits what they're trying to bring in during this kind of last bit of filling out the 2021 roster.
Grayson, I've been really am just taken aback by the amount of guys that are jumping in the transfer portal now. It almost seems late, as most of your 2020 guys are jumping, or even your 2021 guys are already jumping into classes or onto campus, and now there are guys still entering the transfer portal. Are we late in the game for that, or is this still kind of the middle of the pack where Baylor has a shot at another offensive lineman?
Well, I think you're looking at 2 different kind of time periods. So this first one is guys coming back on campus and simply guys not coming back on campus, if that makes sense. So, for instance, a school like Tennessee shows up on campus and then they realize, wait, this guy's not here. Then that guy, posts something, and now into the transfer portal you go. So that's the first realm. The second realm is if you look at it from a perspective of what's coming up. So spring ball's coming up here probably in the next month and a half for most schools, I would say. Most start around March, middle of March. So I think you're looking at a situation where after spring ball happens, I think you're going to see a lot more shuffle still, because there's still the one-time transfer rule. So if guys feel like, oh, I'm not going to get playing time, or, oh, this doesn't fit me, this system doesn't fit me anymore, I want to go somewhere else, then I think you'll see more guys enter then. And I think that's a reason why Baylor's being patient, because I think they realize that there might be an opportunity later on for maybe a higher-end player, and they want to make sure they have room to add that type of guy, because we all know how important this next season is going to be for Dave Aranda and company, and they need to make sure that they get these things right with these transfer guys who could be starting next year.
Right now with the offensive line, because I think that's JD and I talked about it. The quarterback battle right now is maybe the A1 topic of the offseason. But what I consider to be A2 even rather than B is what the offensive line is going to look like. I think recruiting plays a big part, a big role in that. When you piece together that starting five on the O-line, are you starting to see 2 or 3 names? You're like, okay, this guy's a lock to start, or is it still all up in the air?
Yeah, so I think you're exactly right on that first part. It's definitely a 1A, 1B situation. It is definitely not 1 and then 2 because Baylor's offensive line has frankly cost them a lot of games over the past few years. And I think you could even argue in 2019 it cost them a Big 12 championship. So if you look at it from that aspect, that position is just so important. It's going to be such a focal point along with quarterback trying to figure that out and sort it out. But if you look at the offensive line right now, I think you could probably make a pretty good argument that Connor Galvin's going to start at left tackle. I think that's the hope. That's the plan. That's why I think you're seeing them look for right tackles, not necessarily left tackles. I also think left tackle's a lot harder to find. And to be honest, I think Connor Galvin really wasn't 100% last year. So to take anything off of last season is probably not doing it justice. And also, if you look at the offensive line, anytime one guy's messing up, it frankly messes up everyone in the entire scheme of things. So Connor Galvin at left tackle, I think that's pretty much a lock. Outside of that, I think Grant Miller at center is also pretty much a lock, the Vanderbilt grad transfer. He'll be eligible. He's already on campus, so he's definitely getting himself ready for the season. I think the other one that everyone is anticipating is a lock, but I'm not sure you can say it is after the way he performed last season, is Xavier Newman. Frankly, he was really, really bad, and he's going to have to get things figured out, but he is a guy that's a veteran, and they're expecting him to be a starter, so I guess you could lock him in, and then there's your 2 empty spots that I don't think you can say one way or another. There's a guy that will start at that right tackle position and right or left guard, depending on where you want to put Newman. Now, frankly, if I had candidates, I would say Moj Jeffrey, maybe Casey Phillips are some names that come to mind specifically at guard, but they need to find another right tackle, and they need to find more bodies and more veteran bodies.
Does it feel like, and I know this is more of a scheme question even than recruiting, say Baylor is unable to pick up another guy to fill that tackle or guard spot, does it seem like Jeff Grimes, Dave Aranda, that staff is going to put together an offense or a scheme that maybe is accommodating for what they have on the offensive line? Or are they just going to go right with what they want to do day one, whether the offensive line is all there or not?
Yeah, I think that if you... just kind of looking at it, you have to just kind of put your scheme in and hope that guys can adapt to it. Now, I know you are going to play into what's a strength of your team, and maybe, your rollouts or your run packages lean more towards going to the opposite side away from that offensive lineman. But like I mentioned, if you have one hole on your offensive line, you're in trouble regardless, because in pass protection, you can't really hide somebody very well. Unless you're rolling out your quarterback every single play, but then eventually the defense starts to kind of understand what you're doing, slanting shifts, bringing linebackers on blitzes where you're rolling out into the blitz. So eventually that becomes kind of thought of. And I know Jeff Grimes and this staff wants to keep the opponent guessing, and I think the only way to do that is by just seeing what you got. And I will say, I think there are offensive linemen on this roster who can come in and fill a position and possibly be solid there. The issue is you would rather them be beyond solid and be really good. And I think you're going to see some guys have to grow up in a hurry if that is the case. But I can tell you right now, that is not the expectation. The expectation is to bring in at least one more. I think they're going to bring in 2 more and then kind of let the cream rise to the top during fall camp and possibly spring camp if guys are able to enroll that quickly.
How about one of the people or one of the guys in this 2021 class that we really have been looking at, Tate Williams, and what he was able to do in high school? And I know we're going to do a lot of 2022, but there are a couple things I wanted to check off the box current. With a guy like that, he talked to us about how in high school his team maybe threw the ball at max 5 times a game. He is a run-blocking specialist who has hardly ever had to pass block. In what you've seen with recruits and guys coming in, how much do these linemen struggle with that when they're now forced in a situation where a team's throwing the ball 30 times a game?
Yeah, so Tate actually got Max Preps All-American honors this past week as well, so definitely a great year for Tate Williams. Very special season, and a guy who Baylor just got in on very early. James Blanchard made that connection very, very early in the process. Tate added some offers, really, frankly, because of his relationship early with James Blanchard. Obviously got the Baylor offer, and it was a done deal, right, when he got the Baylor offer because of that connection. Tate's a specimen. And that's the one thing about him that you can't teach is you look at him and you go, okay, he's got the size, he's got the height, he's got the length, he's got the hand size. I mean, there's just a lot of things about his game that make you go, he can translate to being an NFL prospect. But like you mentioned, and this is something that's a good and bad thing. So he hasn't pass blocked much at all. But that also means he's raw at the position. So his upside is pretty high because he hasn't been taught those kind of fundamentals and things along those lines, which makes him kind of special in that regard. Now, the flip side of that is you've never really seen him pass block much. So what if he comes in and just completely can't do it? But that's where scouting and evaluations come in. You see a guy, can he do it athletically? And then you just hope it translates to having a feel for it. So Tate's going to be a special guy. I do believe he's going to stay at guard, which is what they recruited him as, just because his run blocking is just so special in the interior of the offensive line. I think he could be an absolute mauler up there and really be a very good player, but hopefully he's given time to develop into that role.
Is it safe to say that it's easier to transfer from a primarily run-blocking lineman to a pass-blocking lineman, or vice versa?
That's a good question. I typically think that, personally, when I watch film, I think run blocking is more important when I watch it just because I think it shows more power and athleticism and the ability to finish blocks. You want to see that, going forward to create that physical mindset. Obviously, you want guys that can pass block as well, but a lot of times the guys that can pass block sometimes aren't the strongest or sometimes a little weak in their frame, especially their lower body. And so, yeah, I'd much rather see a guy who just completely demolishes people in the run game. But, I mean, there's obviously perks and benefits to being very good at both.
And then before we get too much into the 2022 class coming up, I want to ask you with this coaching staff that's come in, what have you heard on the offensive side about Chancey Stuckey and Eric Mateos and Jeff Grimes and how they fit in with the current guys and really so far what their relationship with Baylor has looked like early on?
Yeah, so last year, I guess around this time when the previous staff was hired, I talked to a lot of various people that the communication just was simply not there. And I mean, that's not really surprising, though. I mean, a new staff comes in and with COVID and things like that, make things very difficult. But I can tell you right now that this new staff coming in, it's been completely different. I mean, Jeff Grimes is already building good relationships with players and parents and the staff as a whole. They're all obviously all gelling really well, which is great to hear. And so I think you're seeing kind of this weight lifted off a lot of players' shoulders where it seems like they're very happy with this new staff. Vic Valoria doing a great job in strength and conditioning. I continue to hear just absolutely fantastic things about that change. So obviously that's been great. And I also think something that I don't think is brought to attention enough, but last year was Dave Aranda's first year as a head coach. Yeah. And I think he's growing into his own as well. And I think that's such a crucial part. I mean, he's the leader of an organization. He's the leader of men. He's the guy who's supposed to keep everyone on track and be the boss. And I think he's really excelling in that role now. And I think you're seeing a shift in that regard too. And when you hire guys that you trust, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. And I think that these hires are guys that he trusts to get the job done. I think it's definitely helping with the players and the parents and communication, all of that. I think it's a big deal.
On the coaching side defensively right now, I know there's not near as much turnover on that side of the ball. With Dave, does it feel like Dave Aranda right now is the field general of this defense, or is it really a committee of leaders that are spearheading the defensive side of the ball for Baylor? I know there's not been a lot of talk about defense in the offseason. What are fans missing right now?
Yeah, no one's talking about the defense, and the reason they're not is hopefully because everyone knows how good Baylor is about to be on defense next year, because 10 of 11 starters returning. The only one you lose is William Bradley King, who was very solid last year, but you have to remember William Bradley King was only on campus for like 2 months before the season started. So he wasn't even really I wouldn't say completely ingrained in the culture, completely ingrained in his role. I mean, you give him another year, it would have been a lot different. But I think guys like Matt Jones, Ashton Logan, Tyrone Brown, I think you're going to see them kind of fill that role very nicely and maybe honestly be more of what Dave Aranda wants from that jack position. Just kind of more variety to his game instead of just a pass rusher like William Bradley King ended up being last season. But you look all over the defense. So you asked about leaders. So Ron Roberts has done a great job in that regard, the defense coordinator. He's done a very good job, and a lot of the defensive staff has done a good job. But I think the most important thing about this defense is the simple fact that you got guys like Jalen Petrie and Terrell Bernard, and I mean even other guys like Raleigh Tejada has played a ton of games, and you look around JT Woods. I mean, that guy's been playing since he was a freshman. So much leadership in that group, and now really the only question that has to be answered is the defensive line. If they can answer that with a guy like Siaki Ika, if they can get Gabe Hall and Chidi Obanaya back, there's no reason to think this defense can't. I mean, they could be a top 10 defense, to be completely honest with you, and could challenge the 2019 defense, which was so dominant in Matt Rule's final season.
On the 2022 front, and I'm glad we talked about that too. Thanks for the defensive update, because no one has mentioned the word. I haven't heard the word defense in so long. With the 2022 update, I know one of the things I saw last on the forum, which again, SicEm365.com forum, you can keep up with recruiting, become a premium member, a subscriber, and you will get the latest news in recruiting. 15 minutes ago, an article comes out. It's constant recruiting updates and news, but one of these talks about yet another offensive lineman in 2022 that's named Baylor in his short list of schools. Is that becoming a common trend, or a lot of these 2022 guys that are undecided still looking at Baylor? How well is Baylor doing on that front with those guys who still haven't maybe picked a destination?
Yeah, I mean, if you've paid attention to kind of the recruiting landscape or Twitter and just seen the offers that have gone out, Baylor continues to make waves in that regard with sending out early offers, trying to be early on guys, and also not caring if they're in-state or out-of-state. So I've been extremely impressed with what Baylor's been able to do in that regard. I think they've put out maybe 12 offensive line offers since Jeff Grimes became the offensive coordinator. So they've really hit that position very hard. And the guy that you're mentioning, Jacob Hood, he released his top 6 yesterday, actually, and he's out of Tennessee. So, I mean, he's kind of a far away guy, but he built a good relationship with Joe Wickline, and that relationship has continued. He talked to Eric Mateos recently, I believe a couple days ago. And, I mean, you look at this guy, 6'8", 340 pounds. That's an SEC offensive lineman right there. And, I mean, if you look at his top 6, Baylor, along with Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, LSU, Mississippi State. It's looking like,
6'8". You said 6'8", 340.
Yes. You should have seen what he was listed when I first made his profile about 2 months ago. I talked to him yesterday, and he told me he's down to 340. He was 370.
No way.
6'8", 370. I mean, just a mountain of a man. And, I mean, his offer list kind of bears that out. And he's been a priority for the staff for a while, but the coaching change, obviously that makes it tough because you got to reevaluate guys and reevaluate where you want to position them. And it's clear with that conversation with Mateos that he is definitely going to be a guy that they're paying major attention to.
Also on the 2022 front, aside from 6'8", 340, because that's probably going to stick with me the rest of this show, elsewhere in the 2022 front, obviously offensive line is going to be the key right now. It seems like that for at least the next couple of years will be a focus for Baylor. Where is the second position? Where is position B outside of offensive line that Baylor's focusing in on right now?
Wow, that's actually a really good question, because I don't want to give this answer because I feel like it's a boring one that no one wants to hear, but it's going to be a position that you normally only take one, and I believe Baylor will take 2, and that's the tight end position. And I know that that's the boring answer because Baylor's never used tight ends. What are you talking about? How could they possibly take 2? Well, that's going to change with Jeff Grimes. And the guys that they're looking at that tight end position are very, very talented. And you look around, guys like Jason Llewellyn out of Aledo, Cody Mladenka out of College Park, Shadow Creek's Trent McGahay, Kelsey Johnson out of Red Oak, who they just offered. All 4 of those guys are big names to keep an eye on. And Baylor's offered 5 since Jeff Grimes took over. And before that, they had, I believe, 3 offers out to tight ends. So that should tell you something about the commitment that they're putting forth at the tight end position. And pretty crazy. But in Jeff Grimes' time at BYU, every single season except for last year, a tight end was the leading receiver on his team, which is a pretty crazy stat to think about. And if you look at the roster, Ben Sims is the name that stands out. Everyone else is young and unproven. So they're definitely looking to make a wave there. But if you want to push to another position that I think is going to be very important, it's going to be the defensive line. I think that offensive line, defensive line are going to be the priorities for this staff moving forward. And this year's defensive line group, I like the guys that they brought in, Dakota Robinson and Cooper Lands, but I think they could have used a little more depth there. And I think 2022 is the class where they're really going to try to hit on that because they have so many high priority targets. When you look around, guys like Chris Ross out of North Shore, you got Trey Emery out of Mount Pleasant, you got Jere Bledsoe out of Bremen, who's a guy who's really been a riser as this process has kind of bared out, got an Alabama offer, got Georgia offer during the same week. So some really, really talented guys. And again, not afraid to go out of state and look for guys like Ben Roberts out of Utah or Chris McClellan out of Oklahoma. So they're doing a nice job kind of varying offers a little bit to make sure that they're able to have more options when it gets to the point where you're trying to land commitments.
With Matt Rule's last recruiting class, and I know we typically we almost talk about this weekly now, in comparing what Jeff Grimes, Dave Aranda, and this staff, what they're doing from a recruiting standpoint, Matt Rule's last recruiting class obviously fell short of maybe the Baylor standard that fans have. While it was on the lower end of the Big 12, it found its way more toward the middle, toward the end of things, finished stronger than maybe some thought it would. But it's almost what has been labeled as the forgotten recruiting class by a lot of people because it's almost as if that group of guys, they don't get a lot of hype. They're not talked about very often amongst fans. Does it feel like that's going to ever happen again under the current staff, or are they just absolutely committed to having a top 5 recruiting class in the Big 12 every year, no matter what?
Yeah, and I think that it's hard to really blame Matt Rule's staff for that last class just because of the simple fact they didn't fill out the whole class because they left. So the 2020 class was kind of filled out a little bit by Aranda at the end there, when in all honesty, I mean, like we've talked about a few times, Alfred Collins, Princely Umanmielen, you throw them in that class and
changes it all.
Changes it completely. And I mean, you look at Alfred Collins, the impact he had at Texas as a true freshman. I mean, that kid is very, very good, very sensational. I think they would have landed him. And so, I mean, if you look at it that way, it's hard to really point fingers, but I do agree with you. At the end of the day, what the class ended up being is kind of a forgotten one to some regard, but I do believe this class or this staff moving forward, their expectation is top 25, and their expectation because of that is top 4 in the conference. If you can kind of hit that number most years, you're going to be in pretty good shape. And obviously a lot of that also comes down to how many guys you take in a class. And so I would urge people, the most important thing is the class average. It always has been, not necessarily the specific rank, because a lot of times, I mean, if Kansas takes 30 guys, they may somehow end up as the number 8 class when in all reality, that class is terrible.
Right.
So something to pay attention to, but I do believe this staff is going to make it a focal point because they know if you want to compete every single year for a national championship, you have to be able to recruit at least at a top 25 level. And really, sometimes that's not even enough because those top teams are usually inside the top 10 every year.
I want to ask you, too, reverting back to this 2021 class. I know we bounced around a little bit, but one of the guys that I have seen a couple of times here on the site, on the SicEm365.com forum, football recruiting, become a premium member, and it's constant updates on recruiting. This guy, Jordan Jenkins, with the questions that Baylor has at running back coming into this next season after last season, a lot of injuries across the board. Nobody ran for more than 350, 400 yards last year. Squirrel Williams expected to be back, and he was electric in what we saw him this past season. But there are still question marks with guys. If injury bug hits, or if a couple of guys just don't perform to the level they're expected, what are the odds that Jordan Jenkins helps this team right away? And is he looking long-term, is he going to be a feature back for Baylor?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question. I actually talked to Craig a little bit about this when we recorded the Bearcast, because we got a question about, Tay McWilliams being the second running back behind the kind of duo that we think it's going to be with Treston Ebner and Quaylon Jones, because Squirrel's injury situation.
He won't even be back for the opener, we don't think.
No,
right?
I don't even know when he'll be back, to be honest, because remember the last staff, when he got hurt, he didn't play a whole year.
Yeah.
So you just never know what's going to happen there. A lot of injuries have taken their toll. So let's just assume that that Baylor doesn't start the season with Squirrel. I believe Ebner and Quaylon will be the 1-2 punch. I think Ebner's going to be used in a variety of ways. He's clearly, he can't be, in my opinion, a workhorse every down back, just because, you've seen the bruises and the injuries that kind of have taken their toll on him at some points during various seasons. I think he's much better as a change of pace back and kind of a gadget player. So I think Quaylon is going to take the John Lovett role and be the power back. I've heard nothing but great things about him. And honestly, every time we see him, I feel like he plays really well. He's just a load to bring down, and he's got great speed too. So I think it's going to be those two, but Jordan Jenkins is an intriguing one. And if he can come in and pass up Jonah White and Tay McWilliams early, then I think he would have a chance to really be in the lineup, but I don't foresee that happening. I actually really, really like Tay McWilliams. His high school year was phenomenal, his senior year, and he's got great speed. I anticipate he'll be a pretty good player, and Jonah White showed good things against Oklahoma this season as well. So my expectations, Jordan Jenkins takes a redshirt year, but maybe plays in 4 games, gets some carries here or there.
What about on the running back and quarterback front? Because that's what I know a lot of people love to talk about and break down. Over the next couple of recruiting classes, are there any 4 or 5-star big-name guys that Baylor may be going after at the back position that could highlight these classes?
Okay, so at running back is the position, or quarterback? Which one do you want to start with?
Either or.
Either or, okay. So at the quarterback position, it's kind of come down to Cade Klubnik a little bit. The quarterback out of Austin Westlake won the state championship this year. He's kind of seems to be the focal point now, because Connor Weigman, the quarterback out of Bridgeland, he committed to Texas A&M within the past week. So he's kind of out of the conversation a little bit. So Cade Klubnik is the guy that's left there that they've offered. And I do believe more offers are going to come out at that position. But right now, Klubnik is kind of the guy to keep your eye on as far as offers go. Now, at running back, it's very interesting because there's a lot of really good running backs in this class, especially in the state of Texas. But there's one I really want to focus on, and it has everything to do with relationships with the Baylor staff. So J.D. Price out of Denison High School, he's a 4-star prospect, a guy who has tons of offers from all over the country. Very, very good running back. I think he's up near 20 offers now. He's got Ohio State, Texas, USC, TCU. So a guy who a lot of times I think people would say, well, Baylor's out. Baylor's not going to get him. But relationships. I just need to reiterate that because that's going to be a common theme with this staff moving forward. But JD has an amazing relationship with Juice Johnson, the running backs coach at Baylor, who has been talking to him for a really, really long time. And the two just have a great bond. And every time I've talked to JD, he mentions the relationship off the field. You know, when they talk and it's real talk, real conversations with Juice Johnson about just life, the real world, not just about football. And then on the flip side of that, Baylor made an interesting hire in the recruiting front. They hired Aaron Hunt, who played defensive line for Texas Tech back in the early 2000s. He's now a recruiting coordinator for Baylor, and he's actually from Denison. And their relationship is also very good. So if you put those two together, I think Baylor's got a chance to make a huge splash and possibly land J.D. Price, who is one of the best running backs in the entire country and is competing to be the best running back in the entire state. So he's probably the most interesting nugget, I would say, at the running back position.
I was going to ask you, you know, because you're rattling off schools like Texas, USC, TCU. What makes Baylor what puts Baylor at the forefront of those competing for him? But you answered it for me. The fact that Baylor has an interconnection there to possibly land what would be another splash recruit. What I want to do, and I know you might not be an expert on exactly this recruit in itself, but on the basketball side, Dylan Hunter, now a 4-star committing to Baylor. He will be, I think we tallied it up, the 9th best basketball recruit in program history if he signs, the 9th best signee. What have you heard about him? And I know he was on the show on the afternoon show yesterday. Is that another just huge pickup for Baylor recruiting in general across all sports?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, if you look at his composite ranking, which is ESPN, 247, and Rivals, kind of all combined together, he's currently number 42 in the entire country. So I don't know how many players they've landed ahead of him. I know the ones that come to mind are Isaiah Austin and Quincy Miller and probably Kendall Brown in this year's class. I bet Langston Love may be a little bit ahead of him as well. But Dylan is a fantastic player, 6'4", right around 190 pounds, great length. Wingspan matters, as you know, with this Baylor program. They've always wanted to recruit guys with great wingspans, and he plays on the same AAU team that Davion Mitchell played on, so there's that connection there as well. But I just love the way he's able to get in the lane and create shots for himself and for others. I think that's a really important attribute when talking about college basketball players, because driving the lane, creating penetration opens up so much for your team as a whole. And I also love the fact that he's very confident on the defensive end of the ball, of the court. And I know that he's a very intelligent player and a guy who wants to get it done on the defensive end first. So I was excited to hear this. I think Dylan Hunter is a fantastic kind of addition to the culture that Baylor's trying to build. And I know Coach Nunes played a huge role in his recruitment. I think that Dylan is a great start to what's going to be a fantastic class. He mentioned how he wants to go out and recruit guys and bring them with him to Baylor, and I think now's the perfect year to do it. Baylor having all this momentum, they've been so good. Now's the time to really capitalize on it, and for Baylor to go out and beat Auburn twice in the last week and a half, that's pretty cool as well. And he also had offers from Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Florida State, so pretty good offer list, and I think he would have added more had his recruitment gone on longer.
I love it. Grayson, what are we calling this again? I got to write it down.
The Big Board.
The Big Board.
Let's do it.
Half-hour recruiting segment with Grayson Grunte for every Tuesday. All right, we got about 10 minutes left here now that we've gotten past the recruiting. We're going to do a little Sick 'em Pick'em action where we get some of your takes on today's slate in college basketball with it being Super Tuesday. I got to ask you this first, though. We played Dead or Alive today on the show. You've seen Dead or Alive,
yeah,
right?
I have.
I've got to. Did you watch today? That would be so cheating if you did.
I was in here today for Dead or Alive. I was in for Dead or Alive. I didn't see anything else outside Dead or Alive.
I couldn't remember if you had already come in for Dead or Alive or not. I was going to ask you some of those from the Dead or Alive.
I knew some of them.
That's my question, because we have gotten just a pile of backlash and scrutiny from people who are very upset that we don't know who is and who is not dead or alive. Is this not as hard of a game as we were making it out to be?
Oh, no, it's super hard. Like, there's some guys on there that you mentioned that I don't even know who they are sometimes. So you're not, and so you're just guessing. You're just throwing out.
But even the ones that you do know who they are, like Pele. Everybody's heard of Pele.
Yeah.
Soccer legend. But if you ask me, is he dead or alive?
I thought Pele was dead.
I thought Pele was dead.
I thought Pele was definitely dead.
I feel like the world's going to change the day he dies, though.
Probably.
Just knowing how much of okay, Joe Frazier. I thought Joe Frazier was alive.
So interesting about him. He's actually one of my dad's probably top 5 favorite athletes of all time. And he loved Joe Frazier. So I knew he had passed away just because of that. But I wouldn't expect the normal fan to know that, though. Boxing's tough.
Right. Oh, Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters, dead or alive?
Yeah, no idea.
Zero clue. I have no clue if Barbara Walters is dead or alive. Also, outside of that, Sick 'em Pick'em today. I know that we ran over some of our Sick 'em Pick'ems for today earlier on in the show. And I want to get yours. Anything stand out to you tonight? I know it's a decent slate in college basketball across the country with it being Super Tuesday.
Yeah, I have one immediate one that jumped out literally right as I was looking at kind of the spreads. I think Duke 7.5 at Cameron Indoor.
Yeah.
I'm taking them over Notre Dame.
Really? By 7.5?
Yeah, I think Duke's turning a corner a little bit. And I'm not saying they're national championship good by any means this year, but I think they've turned a little bit of a corner.
Grayson, how much basketball do you watch?
I watch some basketball. I watch a lot of basketball.
Armstrong, is Duke turning a corner?
I know the two.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I actually don't know because I don't watch Duke ever. Except for when they get beat by UNC, which happens.
The 2 losses, I know. They've lost 2 in a row to Miami and North Carolina.
Miami
in close games, though, really close games. I just have a feeling about this one at home. I don't think Duke's winning a championship. Duke may not even make the tournament.
I don't think they're going to make the tournament.
Yeah, they might not. But I think they're going to get it done in this one.
Hey, Jack, the South Alabama and Georgia State game is on ESPN Plus. Will you mind putting that on one of the TVs? Thank you. I have some Monopoly money on that one, but it's only Monopoly money, so it doesn't matter. Grayson, outside of that, what do you like in today's slate? I know there is a really big matchup in the Big 12 today with Texas Tech and West Virginia.
Yep, I'll take Texas Tech in that one.
Really?
Yeah, six points. Yeah, I'll take Tech.
It was a 1-point game at West Virginia. West Virginia won by 1. I don't know. It's going to be tight, but man, West Virginia got beat up pretty bad at home against Florida. They only lost by 5, but Florida led the whole game. But then they go off and they beat Kansas by 12.
They're
and then Kansas beat no one's consistent this year.
And that's what helps when you look at the Big 12 and you go, oh, where's Baylor going to fit in this situation? Well, all the other teams just keep losing.
Yeah.
West Virginia, if you look at their next 3 games, they're at least losing once. They might lose twice their next 3 games.
Oh, they could go 0-3. And it would just be like, hey, because JD brought it up, they could lose at TCU and it'd be like, yeah, that doesn't make a ton of sense, but it makes actually some sense.
Right.
Outside of that, anything else that really jumps out to you?
Yeah, I'm trying to look on here. I think, this was a good one. So Creighton going to Georgetown. 7.5 points is a pretty big number, but Georgetown's not good.
Creighton did lose to Georgetown 2 games ago.
Yeah, and that's where redemption comes in. Redemption comes in.
By 8
They're
points?
the better team. They're the better team in my
true.
mind. So I think they get redemption. 5-9 Georgetown. Yeah, I'll take Creighton.
I am really high on this St. John's at Butler. Butler's now moved. They were a 1-point favorite when we started the show. They're now a 1.5-point favorite at home. St. John's has won what is now 6 straight, including wins against Villanova, Providence by 11, Marquette on the road. I love St. John's right now on a money line tonight.
I like that pick. They're hot, but golly, so every year I feel like this is what happens with St. John's. They are, although this year more consistent recently, but it felt like every single year they pulled off huge upsets year after year, and then they'd go on the road and just completely lay an egg by like 30 points. And you're like, what is this St. John's team doing? But I do think they're better this year. I think they'll beat Butler, even though Butler's a tough place to play. It always has been, even though they're not great this year.
Do you know who St. John's head coach is?
I don't know who
This is like such a random, obscure question. It is Mike Anderson, who was the head coach at Missouri and took them to Elite 8, Sweet 16. Then he was the head coach at Arkansas and never made it past the round of 32 in 8 or 10 seasons at Arkansas. Mike Anderson at St. John's right now, but they started conference play. Look at that. That's insane. They started conference play at 1-6. They're now 7-6. And I'm sure they're receiving votes right now after 6 wins. They beat top 10 Villanova by 11 at home. So I like St. John's. But Grayson, thanks for joining us today, breaking down the big board. The big board. How about in today? Do you listen to Spotify? You listen to Spotify, yeah?
Some.
I pegged you for a Spotify
I listen
guy.
to Apple Music more. Yeah, and I know is that one of your...
Wow. Yeah. I pegged you for a Spotify guy. I take that back.
I made the switch.
That's tough. Outside of that, Wildcat and a Cyclone squaring off 1-on-1. 1v1 Wildcat Cyclone.
I don't like Iowa State, but Cyclone's winning that one.
Cyclone's
going to be tough for anyone to beat.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Cyclone as well, just because it's, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
How can you vote against Mother Nature? That's an F5.
Unless it's against a bear,
Nope. That's the thing. Is the Bears going to win this, and it's as a 6 seed because of the fans love the Bear. Sooners or Red Raider? By Sooners, I mean Sooner. It's one Sooner.
Yeah, Red Raider.
Red Raider.
They're much more intimidating. Yeah,
they got the 6-shooter. They're quick with a draw. I got the Red Raider. You know what else I got? I got Top Golf Live at McLean Stadium coming up this year. But I'm Drake Toll. That's Grayson Grudever. Grayson, thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Drake. This is a good time every week.
You want to do that next Tuesday?
Yeah, I think we can make that work.
Do that
I'll drive
Tuesday
up here.
Too.
Yeah,
beautiful. Armstrong Sims. We got Cole Andrews. Come on, guys. Andrew Robertson, Jack McKenzie, all in studio today. This is Up Tempo. Tee it up at McLean Stadium this winter as Topgolf Live takes over Waco. Topgolf Live brings the Topgolf experience to iconic stadiums around the country and will be held at McLean Stadium February 25th through February 28th. Join us for a once-in-a-lifetime experience as you take golf swings from the concourse of McLean Stadium. In addition to offering friendly competition, Topgolf Live transforms this iconic venue to create a truly unique event. Create memories with your friends, family, or coworkers this March when you choose the Topgolf Live Stadium Tour for your private parties. Special safety protocols will be implemented throughout the event to ensure Topgolf Live offers a healthy and safe environment to players. Topgolf Live tickets are on sale now at www.topgolflive.com. Book your tee times today as tickets are limited for this once-in-a-lifetime in-stadium golf experience. Premium packages are available as well. For more information on premium packages or to purchase your tickets today, please visit www.topgolflive.com or call 214-501-1320.
It was a relatively tame night in college basketball with the nation's biggest upset taking place in the Big 12, although calling it an upset is almost a stretch. Unranked Kansas knocked off 23rd-ranked Oklahoma State at Allen Fieldhouse 78-66, thanks to 23 points from David McCormick and a dominating second-half performance overall. Elsewhere, Gonzaga struggled with BYU on the road, winning 82-71. Number 4 Ohio State beat Maryland at Maryland 73-65. Minnesota beat Nebraska at home 79-61, and San Diego State trounced San Jose State 85-54. Outside of gameplay, a video of North Carolina basketball players at a party following the Duke game was leaked yesterday, just hours before their Monday night game, leading to a postponement against Miami. On the women's side, the number 2 UConn Huskies fought back to beat number 1 South Carolina at home 63-59 to claim the top spot in the sport. Paige Beckers totaled 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for the game. And number 10 Arizona blew out 11 Oregon on the road 79-59. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This is Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don's Humidor in the Townwood Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll, Tori Wiley, Clara Lincecum in studio today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
So, resident sorority girls.
Yep.
Tori is an AKIO. Clary is a Theta. All right?
Yep.
But what makes them particularly special is the fact that both of them are tour guides.
Yep.
So today is Tour Guide Tuesday, where we take two of Baylor's very finest and bring them through the ringer. You have 20 questions today that are all Baylor-centric. I will give you a hint as well. 10 of these questions were featured like 3 weeks ago in the show.
I watched.
Yeah.
Wait.
So like,
I did not watch.
you did not watch?
That's my bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, you should get them though. This is so you guys are tour guides. Walk me through though, Clara. I'll start with you.
Okay.
There's some kind of like gold star standard, or what is another tour guide of yours got one the other day.
Green star.
Oh, excuse me. There is a green star standard. Walk me through what exactly that is.
Okay, so basically, if like a family tells your supervisor that they just had the best tour of their life, or if they like email it and put your name in it, then you get a green star on your name tag, and then everyone's just jealous of you for the rest of your career. And both Tori and I have never gotten one.
How tough is it?
I will say,
say it.
You know, they really got to go the extra mile to speak to the supervisor. So even if they tell you, like, that was the best tour
You got to
I've
say,
ever had.
please tell my supervisor.
Really? Do you say that? Is there any coaxing in there?
I have not. I've not done that.
Do you write down your supervisor's email?
That would be a good move.
We don't want to embarrass ourselves. We want to earn the green star.
Do you ask for tips?
Oh my gosh! Actually, okay.
Oh my
Clara,
gosh! Wait, can I tell a story?
Yeah, tell a story.
Okay, so last week I was supposed to give this tour, and then I don't know if it's okay that I'm telling this. I was supposed to give this tour, and then I couldn't give it because the person that was driving my tour couldn't drive, so we had to switch.
Right.
And then they got the family I was supposed to give a tour to, and then they went and gave that tour on another cart, if this makes sense. And
I'm putting it together in my
And then
brain.
they got tipped $200.
You get tipped? You actually get tipped?
No, we don't. This never happens.
$200, and it was the tour I was supposed to drive. I was supposed to give it, and then I didn't get it, and then I think about it all the time.
Did they split it with you?
No, it wasn't even talked about. I was just like,
can you accept tips legally?
I mean, I guess.
Oh, that's a question you just don't ask.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it never happens, but that was like insane.
The one time that
but it was
did.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they were meant to have the $200.
Wow. So Clara, walk me through too, on a personal scale. I have been hearing something. I'm a big Spotify guy. That's an argument today on the show. Is what are people listening to music through? I'm a big Spotify guy, and I keep coming on top of this thing called Clarification, one of the top 50 podcasts in the country. And as I understand, that is your personal podcast, Clarification.
It is not real.
Oh, so that's not you.
No, that's a little awkward.
Is that in the works though?
Me and my friend Bryn are starting one.
Is it called Clarification?
No, because that would make it just about me, since my name's Clara. So that was my personal podcast.
Is there a problem with that? Is that not?
Yeah, that'd be a little selfish.
Oh, okay. Is it a two-person podcast?
It's a two-person podcast. But if I had a podcast alone, it'd be called Clarifications.
But Torifications, that's in the works.
That has a really nice ring to it.
Okay. So today, I have brought you both here to play the ever elusive. This is like this. I will put like 4 or 5 minutes on the clock because this is extensive. It is a 20-question quiz. There is a bonus question at the end. That's not even very special. It's just kind of a bonus question. It's just there.
Do you have a green star?
Yes. If either of you have green stars by the end of it, you should both get green stars for being on the show today. The publicity. If you out there, tell me too. I have heard of students that are getting tours as current Baylor students. They'll just like send and register for a tour and take it as a current student. Is that a thing that happens?
No.
I mean, it's really right now, especially because of COVID, it's supposed to be only seniors and transfers.
Really?
So we're prioritizing
But
them.
typically, I guess if you didn't get one, maybe. But right now with COVID, it's not. Like, not even juniors in high school can get one.
Yeah, it's much more selective who gets tours.
Also, Claire, we are getting a text on the Bourbon Liquor and Wine text line. Are you a good driver in your tour vehicle? Your father is asking.
Yes, I was just going to say my dad is watching.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys want to give any special shout-outs today on Up-Tempo?
To my dad.
Yeah,
You're
to Claire's
perfect,
dad.
and I love you.
Okay, so both of you are going to shout out Claire's dad today on Up-Tempo.
He's perfect.
Okay, do we have the music ready? All right. It is Tour Guide Tuesday. So, I love this music. Tour Guide Tuesday. Tori, I'm going to have you just kind of face a little bit that way because the questions are all right here on the screen. Some of them have their answers. Clara, you're going to kind of face that way because it's a tight, I don't know how David Smoak does this, but it's a tight window that I'm working through right now.
I won't look.
Okay, so this is Tour Guide Tuesday. Question number 1 for both of you. What are the Bears' names? There are live bears that live at Baylor University. They have names. What are they?
Easy money.
Okay, both of you feel confident in that. Question 2. Who's the world-renowned cookie maker at Mimo Dining Hall? Mimo Dining Hall. And there are bonus points for how you spell this, because it's not that easy to spell. Number 3, which football coach is Baylor's all-time winningest? I know you guys probably don't give a lot of football stats on your tours, but it's a sports show, so we had to round that out in there. Which football coach? You can
know that.
You know what? Half a point if you name a football coach, though.
Okay.
Hey, that'll do it.
Wait, current?
Anything. Just a football coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in general.
Yeah. We're broad in the scope right now. That's a half a point right there.
Okay.
Given out to you. Question 4. Where does Baylor rank regarding to size amongst Baptist schools in the world?
Got him.
Where does Baylor rank?
Got that. That was from the last show.
That was on the last show. True. Number 5. This one's crazy. How many residence halls are there? Oh, come on. This is a great tour guide question.
This is different from residential colleges.
Right. This is residence halls. Residence hall. I'm a mom, and my son is coming to Baylor to be a doctor, and I want to know how many residence halls he has to choose from.
Okay. This is an estimate.
I will give you a hint. It is a number.
Thank you, Drake.
You're welcome. Number 6, what year was Baylor founded? Oh, easy money. This is too easy.
Money.
This one's maybe easier. What is the male to female ratio? So male to female.
Was this on the last one?
Yes, it was. This was also on the last one.
I would call that an unfair advantage.
And
You
you didn't study.
It's
so.
a fair advantage, I think.
Number 8, who is the head football coach at Baylor University? Yeah, first or last name. Number 9, what is Judge Baylor's first name? I'm looking for initials right here, and if you listen to Walking in Waco, you know exactly what it is. Number 10, name simply one of the other 2 founders of Baylor University. You get this tour every day. You got this one.
Yeah, we do.
Who is Baylor's current provost? I am a 47-year-old woman, and I am really excited to find out who Baylor's provost is. And I have just asked you, and you now have to tell me who the provost is or you're fired. That is question number 11.
I'll send in my resignation.
I will give you one hint. She's that's your only hint.
Britt.
Uh-oh. You don't want to say that because that's going to give it away to Tori. She's
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write that.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good. I think you may have just nailed it.
Okay.
Question 12. How many acres is Baylor University? Oh yeah. Round it to the nearest acre. Number 13. How many Baylor undergrads are there? How many undergrads? Not grads. Undergrads. Round it to the closest undergrad.
Yeah, to the closest grad, yeah.
To the closest grad.
Round it to the closest thousandth, actually. Okay. Just give me 1,000 number. Number 14, who was the president before Linda Livingstone? Before Linda Livingstone.
Oh my gosh, I know I should know that.
I am someone who keeps up with modern. I am a 47-year-old father of 4. 3 of my kids went to Baylor, and I was a big fan of this guy until he was not.
I know.
Until I was not a fan anymore. Super famous.
The stage fright is the reason I can't remember, but I swear I know it.
She knows. You know it?
I do not.
Okay.
But either way, I don't have it on the paper.
Number 15. What happens annually on 5th Street? Uh-oh. Come on. Doesn't happen because of COVID. Yeah, I'll give you a hint. It's not Dia del Oso.
It's not.
Number 16. How many freshmen entered Baylor in 2020? How big was the 2020 freshman class? Round this to the nearest 100th. That'd be fine. So like I'd say 4,500, although it's not. Question 17. How many undergrad programs are there? Round this to the nearest undergrad program.
Oh gosh.
Yep. The whole number.
No
idea. Do you mean like
undergrad programs? So like I could get an undergrad degree. I can get a degree in like journalism. I can get a degree in biology, biochem, engineering. Yeah, how many of those?
Okay. Wow. Oh gosh. I have no idea.
I was excited for this. Felt like tour guides, you guys were to kill this. What is the student to faculty ratio? Student to faculty. Oh.
Got that.
Nailed it.
Yep.
19. How many clubs are at Baylor? Oh, baby. Tour guide knowledge right here.
I can literally picture where I say that fact on the tour. Over the bridge.
How many varsity sports are at Baylor?
Like Division 1?
Division 1 varsity sports.
That's on the Bear Trail.
Oh, it's on the Bear Trail. Come on. All right. And do we have the other music that we play sometimes too for the answers?
We have a bonus question.
You have a bonus question.
Yeah, Jack has a bonus question.
Jack, what is your bonus question?
So, y'all are called Bears.
Yep.
What does that stand for?
Baylor Experience Admissions Representative.
Did you know that too?
I know that.
You did?
You were?
Wow.
Last semester?
No. This was fall.
Jack was a tour guide?
Oh.
Jack was a tour guide?
Jack was a tour guide?
And you didn't know what
Get on
Bears
up here,
stood for?
Jack.
No.
Come on down.
Did you get a green star?
What?
Did you get a green star?
No.
Round to the nearest green star. How many green stars did you get, Jack?
-20.
Nice.
And before you're a bear, you're a cub. And that's when you're in
we don't know
training.
what that stands for.
We don't know what cub stands for, but it's very cute.
Oh, my
We were
gosh.
Cubs for a hot second during COVID.
We really were. May I request a repeat question?
Yeah.
Will you repeat number 5?
Number 5 was how many residence halls are there?
Okay, give me a sec.
Round
guessed.
round it to the nearest resident hall.
Also, cub means completely untrained bear.
Wow.
You knew that?
Oh my goodness.
Breaking news on Uptempo. All right, we're gonna hit a break. I'm gonna call my cub guy.
he get a
You
point?
call your bear
That was
guy.
good.
Call your brother.
Oh, wow.
Call your brother. All right, you ready for 5? Okay. Question number 1. Do we have the other music that I don't like as much as that music, but I still kind of like? This is the one that I like. This is my favorite music.
Okay.
This is the 2-minute drill music.
Yeah.
This is the one that I can't. Number 1. What are the Bears' names, Tori?
Joy and Lady.
Lady and Joy.
Uh-oh.
And fun fact, they just had their birthday. They just turned 1920.
And their biological brother was on Dr. Doolittle.
0 bonus points. 0 bonus points. But cool facts.
Yeah, well,
cool facts.
okay.
Are you giving out bonus points at all?
Yeah, I'm not actually.
Oh,
What's the world-renowned cookie maker at Mimo?
Miss May.
Miss May.
Spell it.
M-E-I.
Oh, baby, spell it.
M-A-E.
M-E-I.
No.
No bonus
was
points.
that-
All right.
So
I just wanted to make sure you
believe.
can spell it.
Oh, it's a bonus point?
No.
He's not giving you.
Baylor's all-time winningest football coach.
The 2011 Hire Simpson, in the Hire Simpson complex, the Heisman Trophy was won by this man. I don't know his name.
RG3 is not Baylor's all-time winningest football coach.
That's a lie.
Very close.
I'm lying.
Very close.
But, thank you.
Clary?
I wrote Matt Rule, but I don't know.
You know what? Half a point for Matt Rule. It is Grant Taft. Matt Rule's 9th.
I also wrote Matt Rule.
You did?
Matt Rule's
You wrote Matt
9th.
Rule? Okay, then you both
and
get a half a
David.
point.
How
you
did
both
you
get a half a
spell
point.
Rule?
You know, does it matter? I don't think it does.
We're not going to go there. Number 4. Where does Baylor rank amongst size in Baptist schools?
So it's the largest Baptist school?
Largest, number 1.
It is the largest.
Yeah.
How many residence halls are there?
Oh, me? 6.
Oh, I said 14.
Oh my goodness, it's 12. It is 12 residence halls.
I crossed it out.
The
12
amount of
residence halls.
residential colleges threw me off.
Yeah. Is someone keeping score?
That's
Nope.
embarrassing.
All right.
You were keeping score.
I am not keeping score. I have so much stuff going on right now. I am claustrophobic, and I feel
So we don't know the score.
Nope.
But you're just gonna keep going.
I'm pretty sure Tori's ahead by 1 now. So let's keep it. Tori's ahead by 1.
For what?
Because she just got closest.
Oh, just
I just wanted who was closest. Yeah. What year was Baylor founded, Clary?
1845.
Tora?
Correct.
1845. Yeah, it is. Male to female ratio, Tora.
Okay, approximately 40% male, 60% female.
Clary?
I said the exact same thing.
40-60.
Yeah.
We're killing
It's
it.
tough
You
for us
guys should be
ladies.
Green Star tour guides.
Thank you.
Who is the head football coach, Clara?
Aranda.
Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda. All
Nailed it.
right.
Got myself
I'm a big football fan. 52-year-old. It's my oldest son who's going to Baylor. I want to know who the football coach was. You guys nailed it. What's Judge Baylor's first name?
Judge.
Oh, that's close, but not.
Close.
I said Mr.
Mr. Judge Baylor. I will give you guys nothing for that, but great effort.
What is it?
R.E.B. Baylor. Won't you look down over
on the
me?
last one.
Yeah. Name one of the other 2 founders of Baylor University.
Reverend Huckins, Reverend Tryon.
Tryon and Huckins?
Correct.
It
Huckins and
is.
Tryon.
Tryon and Huckins. Who is Baylor's current provost?
You said Shiza, so I wrote bad thing. I don't break out.
Bad
That's
thing.
good. That's maybe the best moment's
Bad
happened.
thing.
She's a bad thing. I like that.
Brick house.
She's a brick house. Nancy Brickhouse.
Oh my gosh, that's
also
so funny.
We are. That is good. The fact that I almost want to give you a bonus point, but I won't. It's tied. How many acres is Baylor University?
1,000.
1,000.
1,000 acres of Baylor University for all you and your friends to explore.
That was impressive.
How many Baylor undergrads are there?
Who got that?
Approximately 14,000 undergraduate students.
14,000?
14,000.
14,000? They're neck and neck. They're tied right now.
We should do grad.
Did they tie in the last one?
I found that backed up this
They
morning.
did tie on the last one. They did tie on the last one. Who was the president before Linda Livingstone?
I know I'm supposed to know this.
I do not know.
Don't you know you can be a shooting star? It was Ken Starr. Ken Starr.
Yeah.
Legendary political
Annoying.
figure.
I knew it.
You know what he did? He brought
do?
down Bill Clinton. Yeah,
wow.
it's a real fact. It's a real fact.
That's a hot
That's a
take.
big fact.
What happens annually on 5th Street?
Christmas on 5th.
Christmas on 5th.
How many freshmen entered Baylor in 2020, Clara?
First of all, the biggest ever. Don't know how many. 4,000?
4,000?
I said 3,500.
It is 3,700.
Oh.
Tori's closer.
Wow, that one hurts.
How many undergrad programs? You got engineering, journalism, all that mess.
I said 250, and I'm feeling like that's a bit of an overestimate.
Well, I did 20.
20? Somehow. You are closer. But like not by much. It was 126.
What is it?
It's 126.
I just thought of all the ones I could think of,
Yeah,
and it was
124.
like 20.
Yep, but barely. But I think I did the math right. I was just
No.
on top of my head. Really?
What'd you say? 1,250?
250?
Yeah, she's closer.
Oh, Claire's close, so it's
that's a bummer for
tied.
me.
Sorry,
Yeah, I need to brush up on
my
that.
ideas in mathematics class is really not helping me very much.
A shocker.
What's
Shocker.
the student to faculty ratio?
14-1.
14 students to 1 faculty.
It is now changed to 15-1 as of the current freshman class.
Wow. We
You got to
need
tell
update
your
that on our tours.
You got to tell your supervisor.
Honestly, I'll change that.
You got to tell your
Woo.
supervisor.
Okay.
Number 19. How many clubs are at Baylor?
Over 360.
360.
Yep, 360 student organizations.
Oh, beautiful! You both nailed it. 360. These guys must be tour
And
guides.
if you don't like one of them, you can make your own.
Boom.
Wow. Number 20. How many varsity sports are there?
19 Division 1 sports.
Yep, 19.
Oh my goodness! We are going into sudden death on today's Tour
You have
Guide
extra
Tuesday. I have a bonus question. Last year, us three, we were all freshmen together.
Yes.
We were.
Freshmen together.
I love that, yeah.
No music.
time.
This is
Yeah.
suspenseful. Do we have suspenseful music?
We don't have suspense.
This is the final question, and whoever gets closest is the winner. This is tuition, not fees, but tuition. How much did we officially, to the nearest thousandth, pay in just tuition last year? Claire, I'm going to start with you. Actually, write it down. Write it down. You have 17 seconds to
Are we
write it down.
talking about personally?
We're talking, no, not personally. Yes, whoever had the lower tuition last year after financial aid wins. No. How much do students pay in tuition at Baylor
Okay,
University?
Without scholarship is what we're talking
Year
about.
per year without scholarship. This is the current tuition. Last year's tuition at Baylor University. You have 17, 16, 10,
Please don't tell me you're going to
9, 3, 4, 1. Time. Clara.
Oh, I was going to say, I want Tori to go first.
You wrote down 60,000.
That's not
Tori
bad.
wrote down 62,000.
Okay.
Not bad.
Makes me feel better.
Without fees, the Baylor tuition is
without,
officially...
whoa.
Okay.
Without student fees.
I said without fees.
I didn't
You
think
did
about
say
it.
Without housing and fees. I'm going to give you another 10 flipping seconds here
okay.
to write down your answer. 17,
I don't even know how much that changes
12,
things.
8. No fees, no housing, nothing. It's strictly tuition. You're just coming to get an education. You're not eating food. You're not flying. You're just eating. You're eating tuition.
You're eating tuition.
Your
Time.
Yes.
Tori puts 44,000. Clara puts 48,000. It is 47,000. Clara's the winner of the Tour Guide Tuesday on Uptempo. I'm Drake Toll. That's Clara Lincecum. Tori Wiley joining us in studio today. Armstrong Sims, Cole Andrews, Andrew Roberts, and Jack McKenzie. When we come back, we're breaking down some more SicEm, Pick'em, rounding out with celebrity birthdays and this day in sports history. This is Uptempo.
It was a relatively tame night in college basketball with the nation's biggest upset taking place in the Big 12, although calling it an upset is almost a stretch. Unranked Kansas knocked off 23rd ranked Oklahoma State at Allen Fieldhouse 78-66, thanks to 23 points from David McCormick and a dominating second half performance overall. Elsewhere, Gonzaga struggled with BYU on the road, winning 82-71. Number 4 Ohio State beat Maryland at Maryland 73-65. Minnesota beat Nebraska at home 79-61, and San Diego State trounced San Jose State 85-54. Outside of gameplay, a video of North Carolina basketball players at a party following the Duke game was leaked yesterday, just hours before their Monday night game, leading to a postponement against Miami. On the women's side, the number 2 UConn Huskies fought back to beat number 1 South Carolina at home 63-59 to claim the top spot in the sport. Paige Beckers totaled 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for the game. And number 10 Arizona blew out 11 Oregon on the road 79-59. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This is Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the number 1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll. Cole Andrews is here. Andrew Robertson, Jack McKenzie, our resident sorority girls who just broke down the Baylor Tour Guide Tuesday. I don't know how frequently we can do that because there are a limited number of tour guides. I say that. There are a lot of freaking tour guides. And B, I don't know how many more questions can I come up with that are about Baylor. I'm sure we could brainstorm.
Drake spilled a drink right before we came back. That's what's happening.
I spilled my LaCroix, which I probably shouldn't say the name of the drink because they pay us zero money for me to have a LaCroix on my desk during the show. But I spilled a LaCroix, and I'm the kind of guy that if I'm going to spill something on a desk or whatever, I'm not going to, let it sit there and just sit. So, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. In this segment today, we're going to do a little SicEm Pick'em action with Andrew Robertson, our resident SicEm Pick'em guy, who is in studio with us as always. Happy Tuesday, Andrew. Thanks for joining us. Wow.
We don't have you on.
You guys hear that? That was insane. Andrew, you can't say that on our show. Andrew. Oh my gosh, Andrew, stop talking. Sorry, you guys, we muted his mic, so that should help out. You know what, Andrew, I'm gonna give you one more chance. We're gonna bring you back in here. We're gonna have to behave.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to behave here.
All right, Andrew, happy Tuesday.
Well, it's a great day to be gambling Monopoly money.
Only Monopoly money.
Great slate today.
I had to pay out today. You know that? I had to pay out today.
Oh, so not a great day.
No, I had a bad week last week. But also, my Monopoly money pot is still, my pot runneth over in Monopoly money.
Stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie.
57 and 37. So I mean, you're in the green right now.
Men lie, women lie.
Stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. Money don't lie. Monopoly money don't lie. Also, Armstrong made a really good point. I think we're gonna do the Tour Guide Tuesday, resident sorority girl Tuesday on the afternoon show as well. Bring them back. Yeah. Just have
that's gonna go well.
Smokey sitting in the middle, sorority girls. Boom, go and live, rock it. I'd pay. That's good content. That's good content right there. It's Georgia State 37, South Alabama 33 right now. For those of you wondering, I had South Alabama in this one plus like 6.5, so we're doing all right to start.
So you're covered.
Yeah. I'm feeling okay. I feel fine. I put the house on it, the house Monopoly money on it.
Calm, content, clear eyes, can't lose.
Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think everything else is cleaned up from our Tour Guide Tuesday time. So let's start the top 25, Andrew. Because
you know what I'm sick of?
What are you sick of?
I'm sick of COVID canceling basketball games.
Tell me what you're sick of, Andrew.
Let me get on my pedestal here because so many great games have been canceled this season.
Don't get on your pedestal. Get in your soapbox.
On my soapbox.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Andrew's not a narcissist. I've been around him enough.
Very true. Florida State, Virginia Tech.
Says the narcissist. Very true. I am much humble.
Florida State, Virginia Tech got postponed today. I was looking forward to that one. That was a top 18 matchup, 17 v 18, in an ACC battle. So I'd like to start off this segment by saying I'm upset.
I am having a very bad day. Today Yeah, I get that. COVID sucks, man. Baylor canceling next 3 games and all that jazz.
Basically all of February. It's
The women's basketball team plays tomorrow, though. I don't know if you know that. And we're going to have Kim Mulkey bites on tomorrow's show. She has media at 1 o'clock today. We'll also tomorrow hear from, I think we're going to hear from Baylor softball coach Glenn Moore. Still doing some stuff with that, putting that in the works. But yeah, they play Texas Tech at Texas Tech tomorrow, so that's a little side nugget. But yeah, top 25 game canceled between Virginia Tech and a team that is not Virginia Tech, Florida State. Yep. So yes, we will not pick that one, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm upset about that one. But we have other great games tonight. Texas Tech versus West Virginia. I believe, is this game at West Virginia?
This game's at Texas Tech. So Tech lost by 1 at West Virginia. That was January 25th, so a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think you gotta pick the spot here at where Texas Tech is. They've been playing really well. They're only a 6-point favorite at home. I think Tech covers this number pretty easily.
Really?
It might be a gut game, but I think they're just playing really well right now. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And I see Tech doing a lot, and I see West Virginia not doing a lot. So that's where I stand right now.
Tech lost at West Virginia by 1. They struggled at LSU, barely won that ball game. Ended up covering by 5, but it was crappy. Against Oklahoma, they won by 5 at home, which Oklahoma's good. And then they won at Kansas State by 11, but struggled in that one. I don't know. West Virginia won against Kansas by 12, but they struggled at Iowa State, only won by 4. They won on the road at Kansas State by 22. But that's been a couple weeks back. So I
guess a little bit of my bias in this game is because I think Kansas is so very bad. I mean, they fell out of the top 25 for the first time in how many weeks? It's like 182 weeks, something like that.
Since 2012 or something stupid.
It's crazy. So I guess I just don't put a lot of stock in that Kansas game. Like, you can beat Kansas by 12. I don't think you have to be a crazy good team to do that. I just don't think Kansas is very good. And I think Texas Tech's win versus OU is really good. And I think at home, 6 points isn't enough.
Give me a lock tonight. Are you putting a lock on Texas Tech?
I don't know if I'd put a lock on it. I think I have a better lock for later, but I am putting money on this game. Monopoly money on this game.
Monopoly money. It's only Monopoly money. Top 25. Elsewhere in the top 25, Alabama. Number 11, Alabama at South Carolina. Bama's a 6-point favorite on the road. Mind you, it's the same South Carolina team that lost to Mississippi State at home by 16, won at Florida by 6, lost at Vanderbilt by 12, beat Georgia 83-59, and then lost to Auburn 109-86. This South Carolina team is the single most volatile squad in all of college basketball right now. Are they good or are they bad? They cannot decide. But tonight, Alabama travels to South Carolina. Alabama's lost their last 2 road games to Missouri and OU, who are both top 15 caliber programs. I like Alabama at South Carolina tonight.
I think Alabama has to win this game. It's like a game where you've lost 2 out of your last 3, and South Carolina's 5-7. So like if you want to make a run this year, these are games that you have to win if you're trying to be a top 10 team, like a top 4 seed in the tournament. I would be very surprised if Alabama lost this game. So I mean, I think money line's a lock. The spread being 6 away, I don't typically like betting favorites like away because you never know how that's going to go as far as travel is concerned. But I think I would definitely put Alabama possibly in a parlay here, money line.
Money line parlay. I love those. 13 Texas at Kansas State. Kansas State 14-point underdogs tonight. However, they play tight with Texas Tech. Only it was a double-digit loss, but not by much.
Yeah, I think Texas is. They have lost 4 out of their last 5. You can blame a little bit of that on COVID. They've also played some pretty good teams: Oklahoma State, Baylor, OU. The last win they had was actually against Kansas State, and they beat them pretty soundly by 15. But this game is in Manhattan. That's Manhattan, Kansas, I should say.
Yeah.
Not
Little
Manhattan,
Apple.
New York. The Little Apple.
The Little Apple.
If I had, what's the line in this one? I don't really like this spread. I think 14's too much for me to play it. The spread's 133, so I guess I would take the over and just hope for a high-scoring game. But I don't particularly like this game.
Hit that line, keep on rolling. Get that ball right down the field. Give a cheer. Rah, rah. Never fear. Rah, rah. Arkansas will never yield. Raise your backs on your toes to the finish. Carry on with all your might. For it's AARKAN, SAS for Arkansas. Fight, fight, fight. The University of Arkansas at Kentucky tonight. 1-point dogs at Rupp Arena. 6-4 in the SEC. Kentucky's 4-6 in the SEC. Who wins in Lexington tonight?
I mean, after that pep talk, I want to say Arkansas.
That was right off the top of my head.
So you know that, but you don't know the Ballad of Davy Crockett? Come on.
Here's what I do know. I sing the Baylor fight song.
No. I don't know how to do that.
Win all the victories for the green
before that,
and gold. The Baylor
Bear
fight
down
song.
and fight.
Is
that right?
Bear down, you bears of old Baylor. We're for
quite
you.
Honestly, I don't know all the lyrics.
I know every lyric to that good old Baylor line.
Obviously,
but the old
because
Baylor,
you sing that
right? But the old Baylor,
the other one you just go. Yeah.
B,
green,
A,
and gold.
Y, L, B-A-Y, L-O-R. Baylor Bears fight. That's all I got. Is that bad? Yeah. I know so few people that can sing every. Can you sing every lyric? Oh yeah.
Former
Cole?
tour guide.
Everyone here goes to Baylor or has gone to Baylor.
I don't know. I mean, I like
tour guide.
I like to clap.
Yeah.
I clap during the songs.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
I clap and then you go green and gold. You shout that part.
B-A-Y-L-O-R. Baylor Bears fight. That's it. That's all I got.
Am I to believe that Armstrong knows every word to Baylor line?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That good old Baylor line's pretty easy. You don't know every word of the good old Baylor line?
I think I would struggle to get
See,
it.
March
that's
forever,
the thing is that
down the year?
You sing that. You actually sing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Can you do your fraternity song?
My fraternity song?
Yeah.
Don't they
Do you guys not? You guys don't have songs in your fraternity?
They make you do that. They
don't
make you
make-
memorize it.
No, they can't make you do.
Oh, they
anything
can't make
on
you.
song.
My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
There is nothing
Like
yeah.
there are those who praise the diamonds, blaze the rubies, blood red hue, while others praise.
Hey, we cut his mic.
That's that's Walking in Waco right there.
That's Walking in Waco.
Yeah. Do you guys not have songs?
If we do, I haven't heard of
Wow, you're adult, right? You're adult.
Uh-huh.
No songs in the adult
No,
world.
actually, no. There's one song.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one song.
Right. Did you sing it?
Not well.
Yeah.
Not at the quality of Walking in Waco.
Yeah. Like a creed. Do you have a creed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do the creed?
On air?
Not
Bear
on air,
down,
but-
you
I
bears
can
of.
do it. Yeah.
You could do the whole creed.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here you
Yeah,
go.
I could do the whole creed.
Yeah.
To bind men together in brotherhood based upon eternal and immutable principles.
Whoa.
Bear
Whoa.
down,
Right,
you
so-
bears of old Baylor. We're
Solid
all
speed.
for you. Go Bears. We're gonna show dear old Baylor spirit through and through. Go. These lyrics.
Go Bears.
Are completely. These are completely foreign to me.
You have no idea.
I think a lot goes with the pace too. Like they. Some
Bear
people
down,
know
you
it.
bears of old Baylor. You were.
You know what the worst
How does
one
that even
is?
fit with the tune?
I feel
Yeah,
like
it doesn't. Bear down, old bears of old Baylor. We're for. No, it
We're all
doesn't.
for you. Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't fit. Now I feel like I feel bad though. I feel like someone wrote that. They feel very recent. The lyrics do.
Oh,
Like
really?
whoever wrote them is probably still alive. I would not be surprised at all. A lot of fight songs are newer.
Yeah, here we go.
No way.
Yeah, that can't be right.
No way.
Dead
That hurts me.
Dead or alive writer of this song.
I'm gonna go live.
I said dead.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Listen
stop.
to this. Listen to this.
Win all our victories for the green.
This
and
is kind of stunning me.
gold. Okay, but think about this. Yes,
Green and
the
gold.
lyrics are kind of old school, traditional.
welcome. You're welcome.
But does that not fit Baylor? That's got a Baylor feel to it. Does it not?
It definitely has a Baylor feel.
Like
to
I
it,
could
yeah.
I could hear those lyrics could have been written last year by someone that's associated with Baylor, and I wouldn't be surprised. Right? Come on, it's classic.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't know that it's
Poetic.
accurate.
Bear down all you bear. That's not a fight song. It's too smooth. It sounds more like an alma mater. It's too smooth, you know?
Let's see.
You know what's worse than that? The Aggie War Hymn.
It was written in.
The Aggies are crazy.
The Aggie War Hymn talks more about UT
Yeah.
than about A&M.
It's literally a
Yeah,
Texas diss track.
It is a Texas diss track. It
I
was
like that,
written
actually.
in. It was written in 1940.
Okay, so then I mean, Dead or Alive has to be the next question.
Oh, yeah, definitely dead.
Brothers Fred and Tom Waring.
Really? The Waring brothers.
Rest in peace.
You're kidding. They wrote
the
Baylor.
Waring Bros.
They
wrote it.
freaking. In the middle of writing songs for Charlie Chapman, they wrote Baylor's fight song?
The technical and the technical title of the fight song is "Bear Down Baylor Bears."
Wow.
Also, it's
It was
definitely
originally performed by the Pennsylvanians.
Of course it was. You didn't know that? Tour guide
Is that
question.
a band?
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
They gathered every damn person in Pennsylvania and said, "Listen,
like,
you're
like
gonna
it's-
sing. You're gonna sing." And they ran. Everybody in Pennsylvania sang the Baylor
On
fight song.
live NBC radio broadcast on December 20th, 1940.
You got to know the whole country went nuts over that. Freaking Baylor got fight song lyrics.
Oh yeah.
On a national.
Hear ye! The Baylor.
Why is the Baylor? Why was it revealed on a national radio? I mean, that seems.
It makes sense to me. Does it not you?
Drew crowds.
No.
The crowd. The nation. It made it all the way to Pennsylvania. People wanted lyrics.
Pennsylvanians.
And they gathered everyone in Pennsylvania and they sang the lyrics of the Baylor fight song. That's no surprise to me.
No surprise.
First verse, all hail the dear old Texas A&M. All right, there. Goodbye to Texas University. So long to the orange and white. Good luck to dear old Texas Aggies. They are the boys that show real old fight. The eyes of Texas are upon you. That song they sing so well. Goodbye to Texas University. We're going to beat you all to... Guess what the next word is? Guess what the next word is? Chickaroo Garum. Chickaroo Garum. Rough, tough, real tough Texas A&M. I kid you not.
Chickaroo Garum.
I kid you not. You know what's...
You know the Auburn's is, they say Weagle.
Weagle? That makes me
Can
mad.
I get a definition check?
Weagle. War, dang eagle.
Dang.
Kick him in the butt, big blue.
You know what made me...
That's literally
You know what made me laugh?
The dang. I censored myself.
I laughed so... I had never been to a TCU game. I went to TCU Baylor last year. John Mayer's 53-yarder.
Oh, yeah.
Then they played that... Then just what comes on the Jumbotron is just this cheerleader. Riff. And then it's like a 6-year-old. Ram. And then it's like a 48-year-old man. Bah. And then it's...
Ba to get a ba. Rah, sis boom ba. Weagle, war damn eagle. Kick him in the butt, big blue. Yes, this is a real Auburn chant.
That was
you know what's worse?
Ba to get a ba.
Riff Ram Bazoo. They sat a 3-year-old down. And they were like, all right, and noises, go. Riff. All right, write that down. Ram. Gosh dang it, that's art. Ba. My God, who is this kid? Zoo. It was Mozart.
The marketing team in that.
Little did you know, it was baby Mozart who wrote Riff Ram Bazoo. It gets better. Lickety, lickety. The kid said lickety, and they're like, no, put it in there twice. Zuzu. Woo-wah. Who. And then Gary Patterson in all of his greatness shows up on the big board. Give them hell, TCU. What? Give them hell, Texas Christian University.
Aren't they revoking that? Didn't they take out the C?
They did take out the C.
Right.
They didn't take out the C, but they were like, you can make the C as small as you want.
Right, exactly.
It's TCU.
Yeah.
I don't know. That may be blasphemous on our part.
No, that's fast.
But lickety riff ram bazoo. That's a real thing. They were like, someone approved it. And then the rest of the fans were like, no, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
How cult culture are you when that is your riff ram bazoo and people like it? Lickety woof bah.
Also, I'm taking Arkansas.
Okay, thanks. That's it for the second pick 'em. That's a stop. I hate that.
We started there and we ended up here somehow.
Because the Baylor fight song. Yeah. The Arkansas fight song. Oh, yeah. God.
Riff. Ram. Zoo.
That's an old man.
Lickety, zoo.
That man is probably a doctor. He's probably got a doctorate.
Who, wah, who.
They're not words. They're not words.
Riff. Ram. Zoo.
No.
Lickety, zoo. Who, wah, who.
What is this? Is this firing you up? Is this your hype video? Yeah, because when they're lifting weights, they do that.
Is there any meaning behind these words, or are they just sounds?
The best part is the kid trailer. The guy is squatting 600 pounds and is like,
Does it not?
Zoo.
Does it not look like a horror film trailer?
Lickety. The best part is the very end when Gary Patterson give him hell, TCU. What? You can't tell me you're proud of that. No one can tell me they're proud of that.
I need to look at the
Riff, ram, ba, lickety, zickety, blah, ooh. They're scatting. They're just scatting. It's like 40s jazz, but make it TCU. Skippity bop, stew ba. And that's what gets them fired up to play football, guys.
Gets them ready to go.
That's why they're good. They're like the Mountain West Conference. Celebrity birthdays! Number 1, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh.
Who was in that commercial? Armstrong? Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice. Okay.
32.
Oh,
I'm going to go 33.
34. You were going to say 34? Yeah, you were close. Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's how old today?
I'll go first this time. I think probably 25.
Okay. Armstrong? Thank you, Armstrong.
No, it's too old.
28.
24. Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's birthday is today.
Oh, wow.
Joe Pesci.
72.
Okay.
78.
78.
Nice.
Wow.
There we go.
He
Come
nailed
on.
that. 78 for Joe Pesci.
Bang.
Wow.
And boom goes dynamite.
William Henry Harrison, who was a president of the United States. William Henry Harrison.
Didn't he die in like 90 days in office?
I think that's the same guy. Yeah, I think it's the same guy. Rip William Henry Harrison.
Rip.
All my friends love William Henry Harrison.
He was like, what, 200? Yeah, I mean.
You're going to go straight up 200. It's his straight up 200th birthday. Yep. You're going 215?
Yep.
He's 248, but he's flattered. But he's flattered that you guys feel that way.
He looks great.
I just said random numbers.
About Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah, Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I'm going to go, he feels like late 30s, early 40s. I'm going to go like 39.
He's 40. He's 40. All right, this day in sports history, some crazy stuff happened, but you got to look it up on your own. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Cole Andrews, Andrew Robertson's here, and Jack McKenzie. We're all in studio today. Join us tomorrow on Uptempo at 11 a.m. Great show, you guys. This has been Uptempo.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert